Guys, welcome back. We're basically gonna kind of pick up on the last stream we did. Turns out Cenat and IShowSpeed are still trying to beat the 4 bosses on Minecraft survival mode. They're doing it on hardcore mode, and every time I check it, they've got no bosses killed. So I'm guessing they keep dying at like the first or second one. I don't know how far they got, but yeah, I'm pretty much gonna assume that that's like all they're gonna be playing for the rest of the year, like, because it's not looking good, man. They are not good at Minecraft. So we can watch that for a little bit, and also I'm gonna go over the YouTube policy changes. I don't know if any of you guys are doing any video content, streaming, shorts, any of that on YouTube. But yeah, they just came out with a policy. I think it was yesterday. It was either 1 or 2 days ago, yesterday or the day before. And yeah, the policy is not so great. So we'll probably actually go over that first. But yeah, it's gonna kind of piss a lot of people off, to be honest. So let me mute the music here. And let's see. Let's do that one first, because that's actually pretty crazy. I am doing shorts, streaming on the shorts, so I'm going to do a vertical so that people who are on shorts can actually see what's going on. Let's see. So, make sure it looks good. Yeah. There we go. So basically, this is off their blog. We're just going to go through the post. So new opportunity, there are opportunities, right? New opportunities to earn and changes to the YouTube partner program, right? So new opportunities to earn and changes to the YouTube partner program. Let's see what these opportunities are. We're making important changes to help the YouTube partner program remain the leader in the creator economy. Yeah, a lot of people don't see it that way, by the way. So they did actually come out with this yesterday. Oh, okay. We can listen to the article. Let's give that a shot. Let's see how that goes.
New opportunities to earn and changes to the YouTube Partner Program. We're making important changes to help the YouTube Partner Program remain the leader in the creator economy.
Just reading it.
Written by the YouTube team. Published the 10th of August, 2026. The YouTube Partner Program, YPP, launched almost 20 years ago, embodies our core belief that YouTube and creators succeed best together. Today, YPP...
I'm not going to do that. It's just basically transcribing. It's going to be really boring. So we're actually going to do this the right way. AI gone bad, basically. But let's see. So the YouTube Partner Program, it launched... Yeah, was it 20 years ago? Wow. Okay, so that's just an intro. They have been consistent, but they have done policy changes over the past maybe 5 to 10 years that have really like irked people, you know? So I don't know how good these changes have been. Let's see. Yeah, first significant change since 2018. I remember that. Where they started rewarding people who are posting more often, and it kind of got this. Now you see everyone just posting a bunch of stuff, whether it's good or not. So I don't really see that as a good change, but it did give new creators the ability to like break out into YouTube. So it didn't just reward people that have been around longer. Let's see. But like, yeah, we expect to pay even more creators in 2027. I don't know about that. So Premium Lite, we're expanding the Premium Lite. I'm not sure what that is, to all countries where we offer YouTube Premium. Okay, so a lighter subscription of YouTube Premium. The subscription offers uninterrupted, offline, and background viewing of most content. Okay, so it's like mostly the reason people would buy YouTube Premium. The other reasons people don't care about. I think you can get some like TV shows and maybe live content from like media, but those are mostly the reasons I know people would buy it for. Creators earn money from these subscriptions through a dedicated pool of revenue for each subscription type. So they're adding a lower tier Premium Lite. So 30% of the net subscription revenue from Premium and 60% from Premium Lite. Doesn't seem too bad. This allocation factors in the cost of operating and promoting the service, including the amounts we pay to music partners. Okay. I think it's a different type of payout if you do music on YouTube. This pool is distributed, or they might mean the music that's being used by YouTube. They don't really say. This pool is distributed to creators based on member watch time and views, the usual, and from the distribution creators receive from revenue share. 55% long form, 45% for shorts. So, all right. With the additional subscribers, creators can expect higher earnings. So those are for people who are already earning on YouTube. It's like, oh, here's another tier where you can earn. So if you're already profiting, that's good. YouTube Shorts, we're updating how we distribute Shorts revenue. Creators who already earn a significant revenue from Shorts are unlikely to be impacted by these changes. So beginning February 1st, 2027, this is where these changes are going to take place. Creators who have 10 million qualified shorts views, that's weird, over the last 90 days will be eligible for ads and subscription revenue sharing on Shorts. So that's currently what they do. Okay. So qualified Shorts. So it doesn't seem like anything changed yet. Channels below this threshold remain in the YouTube partner program and continue to earn on long form but content, with short revenue sharing automatically resuming once they cross 2 million again. So probably what's happening is they were still paying out even if you dipped under, because it's hard to maintain 10 million short views every 3 months. So it looks like they're going to dip people in and out of it. That might be the change. I don't know, because we don't do that. We don't do a lot of shorts. We're broadening yet, so we'll see how that goes. But we're broadening revenue opportunities for creators to reward growth, engagement, and more by introducing new incentive programs rather than relying solely on ad revenue. So for channels below the 10 million view threshold, these initiatives introduce new ways to earn based on hitting certain milestones, like bonuses for YouTube shopping, incentive for brand deals, earnings boost for starting and growing trends. Okay, so basically pushing for sales. See, look at this side graphic here. This is where it's going to get dicey. Uh-oh. So 3, YouTube partner program ads and premium thresholds. To keep the pace with the growth of YouTube, which now sees over 2 billion daily short views and over 1 billion hours of watch time on TV every day, we are updating the YouTube partner program entry requirements for ads and premium revenue share for new creators. This update won't impact creators already in the program. So this is what I was hearing about. New creators applying for the YPP will need 8,000 qualified watch hours in the last 365 days. That's up from 4,000. So that's not good. They doubled it, right? And 4,000 is already hard for a lot of people who are actually putting more work into each video. So they're kind of promoting for fast, quick, and dirty videos by doing this. Or 20 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. That's up from 10 million, right? So the entry thresholds for our fan funding and shopping products remain unchanged. Taken together, these updates allow us to invest in new incentive programs. Yeah. Just the cliche statements. Starting February 1st, 2027. Not great. Not great at all. We'll probably watch this clip in a minute. But let's look at this graphic. In addition to the above threshold, creators who meet the following criteria and are accepted into the YPP will have additional benefits, including revenue sharing from ads and YouTube Premium. So it's still 1,000 subscribers, but 4,000 watch hours for long form content now just went to 8,000, which is double, or 10 million shorts now at 20 million, which is double within a 3-month period. So pretty terrible. Yeah, it's not great. Let's check out this video.
I'm Rene Ritchie, your Creator Insider.
My name is Amjad Hanif, and I lead the creator product team at YouTube.
Thank you so much for joining us. We've announced a few updates for the YouTube Partner Program. What is changing for creators and our channels?
There's a few changes that most creators should be aware of. The biggest changes are on what it takes to earn from ads rev share. It used to be about 4,000 hours in order to qualify for long form, and now it's going to be 8,000. On the short side, it used to be 10 million views in 90 days, and now it's going to be 20 million views in 90 days. Additionally, in order to earn Shorts rev share in the upcoming month, you'll have to have had 10 million views over the last 90 days. And these are just adjustments based on the amazing growth of the creator ecosystem over the last several years.
And some things aren't changing, right?
Yeah, if you are in YPP today, you stay in YPP. What also isn't changing is the first level of YPP, which we introduced a few years back called the fan funding tier. That still takes 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours or 3 million views in the last 90 days.
So let's dive into that a little bit. Why was it necessary to change the thresholds for watch time hours and Shorts views?
YPP stands apart in the entire creator ecosystem. And I think it's because of one central element, which is we succeed as a company when creators succeed. And that's been part of the ethos of the program since the first year, 20 years ago, till today. And all these changes we've announced.
I'm not sure how he's saying that when they're upping the requirements and making it harder to get into the program. So the whole "we succeed when they succeed" comment is not fitting anything he's saying right now. They're not saying any advantages. They're just showing disadvantages, right?
Just reflect the reality of an ecosystem that has grown so much. And when you think about it, the kinds of content, the way you consume that content, the formats have all changed exponentially over the last several years. And so we want to make sure that the earnings you get from the program are meaningful and allow you to reinvest in your channel. And all of these changes, when you step back, we still expect to pay more out next year to creators than we will this year.
For a lot of people, when you ask them like what they want, what their dream is, it's to be monetized on YouTube, it's to get...
For big creators or ones that are already succeeding. With everything he just said, the small creators aren't going to be the ones that are going to benefit from this.
Into YPP, and hope is such a powerful force. How are you thinking about that when you're making these changes?
Yeah, look, it's front and center in our thinking. It is the place where creators across the globe come to earn and build their business. And we've been excited and proud of the fact that there's over 3 million creators that are part of the program. So the one thing that didn't change is what it takes to join YPP. It still takes 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours or 3 million views in the last 90 days. And that is a way to think of us reaffirming our commitment to making it a place for creators to start their business.
Another big change is that now there is a minimum threshold to maintain revenue share for Shorts. You have to get 10 million views every 90 days. Why make that change, and why 10 million?
It goes back to one of the central principles around these adjustments is we want to make sure that the earnings you get from YPP are meaningful, that allow you to invest and build your business. And we had a case where if you had only a few thousand views, you might have a few cents for that month. And instead, we'd like to design the program in a way where it rewards creators who are leaned in, who are driving views and engagement.
And what are you going to do then for creators who you still want to encourage them to make Shorts, but they're not hitting that 10 million threshold?
Absolutely. So as a part of this, we've also introduced some incentive funds. And so we've actually quietly been testing that over the course of the past year. And that's going to give us a way to target money to creators who are at much earlier stages of their career to give them the boost.
So work like 2-3 times as hard to make roughly the same money, because those are, like I just read a second ago, those additional incentives you have to like promote on their YouTube shopping and promote sales of content, promote this. And so you're just doing more work, right? It's no longer just about making the video content
they need in order to make it to the next level. A simple incentive might be to continue uploading over the next 90 days and earn a bonus for that. If you've tagged a few items in shopping, we may give you a bonus to tag a few more items in shopping. If you've been able to secure brand deals, you may get a bonus for that. And it'll allow us to be much more targeted for creators at those early stages to help them earn to get to that next level.
The creator economy is bigger than ever. YouTube is doing better than ever. Why aren't we lowering the thresholds for YPP? Why are we instead increasing them?
That's a really good question. You could lower the thresholds and you'd have creators who are in the program but not actually earning anything meaningful. There is no program like YPP across the creator ecosystem. And we take that responsibility very seriously as stewards of the creator economy, as the original home for creators, to make a program where creators can understand what it takes to be part of it, can earn based on how well they build an audience. And that's really in the back of our mind with all the changes we make for the program. We want you to be able to earn and build a business and grow from a business where you're just running your channel to one where you can take advantage of brand deals, you can sell memberships, you can earn from fans directly. And you think of all the ways you can earn as a part of the YPP program. There's no other place you can do that today.
Amjad, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. I would love to sit down with you again next year and see where we've gotten.
Great. Looking forward to it, Renee.
They're totally
And
gonna
you all know what
reverse
to do. Jump into the
some of these
comments, leave your
decisions.
questions,
Or
leave your
get a lot
thoughts,
of
and keep it real.
backlash. They're going to get a lot of backlash for sure, because they're raising the bar, and I think they don't want to pay certain small creators. Maybe they're doing small payments to too many people, and it's inconvenient, like payroll and processing overhead, and it's just not. I think they're wanting people to get bigger before they have to worry about paying them, and there wasn't as many creators in the past, so it wasn't as big a deal, and now it is. I'm pretty sure it's just like logistics internally, and but yeah, it's not get a lot of people happy. Let's see. Well, let's check out, now that we're kind of done with that, we'll switch over to the stream. Let's see if I can pull it over. Hold on. See how IShowSpeed and doing. Bounce windows here. Nope. Nope.
Are very curious.
Go away. Those pre-rolls, man, they're running them strong. They've been for almost 5 days straight. And they're doing like sleeping on camera and stuff. It's crazy, man. But I don't know if they beat a single boss, to be honest. Kind of feel bad for him. All right, they're back. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. See what they're doing. They might be doing the whole going to bed thing soon, because I think they go till about 1. Maybe 1.
I'll drop it, bro.
Place 4 stairs on this side and 4 stairs on the other side.
Kai's using a tutorial on day 5. It's not a good sign, dude. Oh, man.
I'm gonna just drop it to the ocean over here.
I mean, on day 5, if I played this for just 5 straight days, I'd be an expert at this game.
Form count 3 blocks.
Like, they're playing it day and night. You gotta be good after that.
Like this.
I don't know. I feel for them.
Holy shit. Oh my god, bro. You got him? Yes. I finally got him
Especially Speed, man. He looks like he's gonna crash every time I click it on. He's like, I don't think he sees the light at the end of the tunnel. I think he might be getting depressed. He's like, this is not gonna end, man. Oh.
Move to the tower side and add 2 blocks on each side.
All right, let's see. And if you are on YouTube, you're popping in and out. I know we're a little early for the part of the globe where we'll have more viewers, but feel free to say hi in the chat or, give us a follow on our Twitch. We're really trying to grow our Twitch. We've been focusing a lot on YouTube, so it'd be nice to actually get a little momentum on Twitch. It's where we started, so.
Bro, is this not a... Bro, this don't go to the main ocean? Oh, never mind. There's one. Oh my gosh, bro.
Starting at the corners, build the wall 3 blocks tall all around the platform till you reach the opposite side.
Now, I don't know if I've actually seen they were about to fight one of the bosses and then they went to sleep. And they were like going to do it in the morning, which I think is a bad idea. Because I know it's not good when you're tired, but also like if you're coming back cold, you don't go straight to a boss. You got to get like back in the rhythm. I've never had a good game coming back to a boss or like a hard game just waking up, you know? You got to like play for a little bit before you take on something big.
Everybody saying Speed died, bro. You go to sleep? Yeah, go to sleep.
Chance trolling him.
Who, me? Oh, it's not nighttime yet. There we go. How do you add that timer? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people commenting on the 8,000 watch hours. They're not even paying attention to the 20 million on shorts. Because a lot of YouTubers they go for long form, right? So it's live streams and videos. So doubling the requirement on that is crazy, man. It's like already hard enough for people to hit 4,000. And I'm pretty sure I don't know what it was before. They could have been like increasing it over the years. Let's see what we can find out.
Almost. Like very close.
I might flip it to full screen if I get the information on this. Got to get it right for the clips.
So remind me to make these so these trapdoors are good. Remind me about the trapdoors when I'm done.
Said I know I'm going the wrong way, bro. I'm just trying to.
All right, there you go. I'm gonna switch it real quick so that I can catch you guys up on a little bit of that. Let me mute these because I'm hearing. So the YouTube Partner Program, or the YouTube, yeah, was it YouTube Partner Program? The YouTube Partner Program eligibility and payouts have evolved over the years. The launch in 2007, so it's about 20 years. It's a long time. So the launch in 2007, YouTube introduced the partner program, letting a small group of creators share in ad revenue. For years, there were no formal subscriber/watch hour bar. And so they actually manually invited people, channels one by one, right? So 5 years later, in 2012, there was the self-service opt-in for the YouTube Partner Program. So they tested it out for 5 years. And then they opened monetization to any channel that applied and passed review. No invite required as the ad business scaled. And I actually do remember when you would have to have like people inviting you in. I remember that. That was a thing back then. So people that were in the program could invite other people and give them like a leg in. 2017, first real threshold. After the apocalypse advertiser boycotts. So I remember that, a bunch of boycotts from advertisers because they didn't want their ads showing up with content that didn't reflect properly. YouTube tightened things up, requiring at least 10,000 lifetime channel views before a creator could apply. Yeah, because the advertisers were really upset that their ads were showing on like maybe not so appropriate videos, and those people were monetizing off those ads, and maybe the ad is family friendly and the content isn't, right? So 2018, the threshold is 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours. The standard for years, the standard right now, actually. YouTube raised the bar significantly. You needed 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months. explicitly to weed out bad actors and direct more ad revenue to legitimate creators. This became the baseline most people associated with getting monetized for the next several years. Channel membership, such as direct fan funding, also broadly rolled out at around this time, which I think is 1,000 subscribers in 3,000 hours. I think. There are some advantages there, but the membership might still be the 4,000 path. And then 2021 to 2022 is the Shorts pathway was added. It's when Shorts started to become huge. As Shorts grew, YouTube added an alternate route into the standard tier. 1,000 subscribers with 10 million valid public Shorts views in the last 90 days, alongside the original watch hours path. So you could either do it through watch hours or short views. In June 2023, the 2-tier system was introduced. This is the big structural change which I was talking about just a second ago. YouTube lowered requirements, letting creators in with 500 subscribers and 3 public uploads in the last 90 days and 3,000 watch hours in the past year, or 3 million Shorts views in the last 90 days. Rolling out first in the US, UK, Canada, Taiwan, and South Korea before wider release. And it created the following. Tier 1, which was 500 subs, unlocks fan-funded features such as channel memberships, super chats, super stickers, super thanks, and shopping. That's not too bad, but not ad revenue. And then Tier 2 unlocked 1,000 subs. At 1,000 subs, unlocks the full ad revenue sharing, requiring 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 valid public watch hours in the last 12 months, or 1,000 subs with 10 million valid Shorts in the last 90 days. So I guess you can, on Tier 1, there is some monetization capabilities there, because you can have channel memberships, super chats, super stickers, those kind of things. So the streaming kind of stuff, right? So the revenue split has been stable since about 2018-ish. So it's 55% of ad revenue on long-form content and 45% on Shorts. YouTube retains 45% of long-form revenue and 55% on Shorts. Same numbers, opposite. Okay, so 2026, where it stands today, 2-tier system still going. Pretty much everything hasn't changed until this new announcement, right? So that's where it's going to get interesting. Beyond ads, YouTube has also been growing premium as a revenue source. So 60% of net premium light subscriber revenue goes into a dedicated creator pool versus 30% for standard premium. Okay, so looking ahead is the changes on February 2027, where they're splitting Shorts eligibility from long form starting February 1st, 2027. So you'll need 10 million qualified short views over 90 days to remain eligible once you're eligible. And if you fall below that, they'll pause your revenue until you go above it again. So that's new. You can't still make revenue if you drop below that threshold. So you got to keep pushing out Shorts. You got to keep pumping them out. And long form earnings continue independently. So yeah, it's basically what we went over. So it's pretty crazy. Let's check on these guys and go back.
Chat, what happened? Chat, I don't put no. Oh, it's just like this. I thought I put more.
Oh, and I might have some news on Meta that's actually pretty useful. Might be worth checking out. But yeah, they've been doing some, as they always have, bad things, right?
Oh wait, I think I need.
But now they're actually in trouble for it. So excited to see that.
Chat, I think I need
because that been kind of shady, because Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, by the way, and they've been driving like just kind of like stuff that's not good for kids, right? The content monetizing off of under like I would say 13 to 16-year-olds and stuff. It's as far as like not illegal per se, but like it was toting the line,
I'm gonna go back
and they didn't really put any real stop gaps. So they got there was lawsuits against them, and I think the government, even U.S. government, acted on it. And now you'll see changes, and you'll see it on Twitch too, where all of a sudden certain like channels or pages all of a sudden don't have views or content anymore, and that's because they got a lot of their views from kids, right, from children. So it's pretty bad. He's about to get fall damage.
Put that boat there. Oh my God, almost
Oh, it's water. I was about to say that wouldn't have been good.
Bro. What?
How do they have water? Oh, I guess you could just block up water.
Bro,
That's weird. This is Minecraft.
It's 41 blocks only. It's not. Wait, 41 blocks? Yeah, I said that earlier.
It's hilarious. The sound effects are hilarious. Hey guys, welcome in the stream. I see we got more people. We are dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so if you aren't following us on one, we would appreciate it if you can follow us on the other, or both, you know. We're just kind of trying to work towards our path to 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and Twitch we haven't really pushed in a while, so it's only a little over 100. So we want to see if we can hit them at the same time. That would be pretty exciting. So if you have a Twitch, give us a follow. It'd be much appreciated.
You want to go to sleep? Yeah, go to sleep. So the villager don't die.
Okay, so they built like a castle in the sky kind of thing. So Kai was looking that up on his phone. Actually, it's not bad. It's kind of messing with him a little bit for not knowing how to do that. But they've been playing for, I think they have a counter here, 103 hours, almost 104 hours, right? Let's do the math on that real quick.
What the fuck?
Oh man, he's gotta be careful. I can't be having that on my stream. 4.33 days. So I mean over 4 days. Bro, and you have to look up how to build this structure. It's kind of for Minecraft. I think like 4 days of playing it straight. You should know how to build everything. Like
Sonny, you're trolling. Sonny, you're trolling. On God, it's either Sonny or production, bro. Yo,
I wouldn't. Bro.
Stop.
I don't know.
You're trolling. You're trolling. Sonny is trolling me.
But they're playing till they can finish, or till they can be all 4 bosses. So, and right now they reset, so I think they're on 0. Let's see. Let's check out speeds.
I am switching to creative mode for a moment so I can clearly show which side this section goes on. From the north side of the platform, count 3 blocks, then build 5 blocks downward, just like this.
Yeah, he's looking at it. It's like a lot of the main people. I have to search him.
Creative mode for a moment so I can clearly show which side this
like
section
this, right,
goes on. From the north side of the platform, count 3 blocks, then build 5 blocks downward, just like this.
This is crazy. And but between the two of them, they got about 200 to 300K viewers. Just tuning in and out on this straight, which I guess I'm adding to it, right? But it's like I feel like I should do the challenge on my own and like show them how it's done. Or maybe I don't know. Let me see. Let me do a little Q&A with the AI over here. See what it says.
I died. No, bro. Like, oh my God. Hi. What do I do now, chat? Oh, stack up.
Let's see if AI can catch up. I don't know if it's going to though.
From there, extend 3 blocks toward the north.
Like opened a new tab.
Yo.
Once again, starting from this block on the north side of the platform, build 5 blocks downward. Then extend 3 blocks toward the north.
Look.
That's it. Place one bed here. Build a wall 2 blocks high around the bed, then cover the top of the wall with slabs.
All right, let's see what we got.
Let's hit their feet, as everybody said.
So they've been running Minecraft Java, which is the original one, hardcore. Running a Minecraft Java hardcore marathon. Hardcore equals 1 life. Permanent world death if either of them dies. Oh. Wow, so if just either of them dies. The goal, kill all 4 of Minecraft's major bosses in a single shared world. So the Ender Dragon, which is at the end, Wither, must be built, summoned by the player. Elder Guardian, found in ocean monuments. And Warden, lives in the deep, dark, a biome most players avoid entirely. This is a sequel to their 2024 hardcore Minecraft marathon, where they beat the Ender Dragon after 105 hours and 44 minutes across several streams. But they broke it up into several streams. They've been continuous on this one, dying 42 times along the way. So they beat just one in 2024, and it took them 105 hours. So 4 days.
Wait, Kyle. How do I get out?
This time, the stream doesn't end just because the dragon dies. It stays live until all 4 bosses are dead, which is a much bigger ask since only the Ender Dragon is on the normal path to beating the game. Okay, so you can just follow the normal path. The Wither has to be deliberately summoned. The Elder Guardian requires finding and clearing a monument. And the Warden means surviving the deep dark. So you got a lot more work to do. That's crazy. They were given 10 days to defeat all 4 bosses in a single hardcore run. So they planned for 10 days. If they don't manage that in time, they still have to kill all 4 bosses, but can do it across separate runs instead of one continuous world. So like if they don't hit all 4 in a 10-day run, which is not looking good right now, then they can do it across separate runs. I guess I don't know how it got this information. I guess people are writing about it. Run began Friday, August 7th at 5 p.m. As of the most recent tracking, they racked up 26 total deaths. On the world, 17 for IShowSpeed, 9 for Kai. And though boss kill statuses are being tracked as pending until confirmed alive. And the numbers are changing fast since the marathon's ongoing. Yeah. Because of the repeated deaths to bosses and other enemies, completing all 4 in a single unbroken run within the 10-day window is looking unlikely, meaning they may end up falling back to the separate runs fallback rule. Given how fluid this is, death boss kills updating by the hour. Your best bet for the live count is checking Kai's Twitch or Speed's YouTube directly. Yeah, so, well, yeah, they're still going, man. That's pretty crazy.
Are you ready?
It's pretty crazy. It seems impossible. I mean, they're already 4 days in, and they're doing a 10-day straight run. So like they're sleeping, waking up like a 10-day straight stream. That's crazy.
You want to hear the story time? Yeah.
So they did kind of do something like this before, which is pretty cool.
I remember this one time.
So, hey guys, welcome to the stream. I see we got some new folks in here. For anyone who's new, feel free to give us a like and a sub on YouTube and a follow on our Twitch. We're trying to shoot for 1 million subscribers on YouTube before the end of the month. It looks like we're kind of en route to that. And we're also trying to shoot for, hopefully, get our Twitch at least somewhat caught up to get close. But it'd be pretty cool if we can hit 1 million in Twitch on the same month. I know it's a bigger ask because Twitch is a little different. But, you know, it would definitely be really cool if we could do that, right? So we appreciate the support, guys. And gals.
So look. This dude named Carlos, he had thick ass lips. Like lips is
What'd he say? Man, I gotta monitor the stream, man. They're saying some out of pocket stuff.
Bro, like this.
Give me the lasso, bro.
And you know, if you're not able to catch the streams, we've actually been kind of clipping
You want them?
and putting out some of this stuff,
Here, get the
like moments and highlights, so you don't have to stick around for hour and a half to 2.5, 3.5 hour streams. You know, we're not doing a 105-hour stream like these guys, so. But I think we might have one coming out,
Wish me luck, my G.
some clip coming out this morning maybe.
Stop, bro. Oh my god, bro. This nigga's annoying, bro. Stop. Like, lock in. Move.
So I haven't really played Minecraft in like over
I bet.
10 to 15 years, and I only played it at Friends, so I don't even know. I might do a Minecraft stream. It might be a lot of fun. But like I gotta set some goals. I would set an easier realistic goal and then step it up on the next ones, or I can just go ham and go straight to hardcore right out the gate. That'd be crazy, but you know what? I've been known to do that with gaming. I'm that kind of gamer. I'm down for the challenge. I've never done Halo and Legendary though. That would have been painful. I've done the hard mode, but not Legendary. I think I'm learning Minecraft on hardcore mode would be pretty. Like, it would be the only version of the game I would know, right? So I wouldn't even know what normal looks like. So I think it'd be pretty cool to go straight into it.
Next challenge, be in Minecraft on hardcore. Stop! Oh my god, you killed the villager. Oh my god, you just did. Yes, you did. You shot him. Oh my god.
You're lying.
I'll leave it in Discord, bro. Oh
You're lying.
my god.
He's lying.
Hmm.
Wait, did I?
You hit him.
He doesn't know?
Stop lying, bro.
I can't go to sleep. So
It's crazy. So if you guys are just joining, these two have been starting since
Stay alive.
Friday at 5 p.m.
oh, he's tight, bro. He's not locked in.
And they've been streaming for 104 hours. They're trying to beat all 4
I know what
main bosses in Minecraft survival mode, the Java edition. And right now, I think last time I checked on speeds, they don't have any of them knocked. I don't even know if they beat one, and they've been going for 4 days. So it's not looking good. But apparently they did this a couple years ago and actually beat
hardcore.
just the main boss.
Ender Dragon, but we have to with 2 hunters hunting us down.
What was it? The Ender Dragon. And that was easier, and that took them 4 days, but it was easier because it was just following the main story. Whereas the other 3, you have to do a bunch of other different paths that you can die on just for each one to beat each one. So that's a pretty good challenge. Whoever set it up, it's pretty smart, but I mean, it sounds impossible. You got to be perfect. I would be focusing on like power leveling and healing. I don't know how strong you can get your characters in Minecraft, because if you die, it's like you got to do it all over. You want to be way overpowered. But they've been doing this for 4 days now. 4.5 actually. That's insane. But thanks for joining, guys. We usually do our streams for anywhere from about an hour and a half to about 2.5, 3.5 hours. And they're freeform, right? A lot of their more organized posts is when we're doing video content. You know, I just posted one about the WNBA. I thought that one was pretty funny, actually. Where a couple of former NBA players are actually like announcing to join the WNBA, and it's like they're playing the game. I would watch that. That would actually be really entertaining. And I think honestly on this stream we might check Enes Freedom's. Like, I remember watching him play. We might check some of his highlights out and see what they're going to get into. Because now the WNBA has to kind of like acknowledge the fact that they were saying that like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter. We're pro-trans, the Indiana Fever coach, which is where Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham plays. She's very like pro woke stuff and trans and all that. So now it's like, what are they going to say? No. So they have to have an official meeting and all this stuff. It's like, all right, we'll see. How are you going to need a meeting? But we shall see what happens.
You need sleep. How about you build the activation?
But it's going to be good entertainment. I might try to do it sideways. I wonder if I can pop up. I'm gonna check my Xbox. If I can pop up Minecraft. Let me see if I can do it. I think I can see if I got it on my phone. And just outright see how easy it is to do it on my own. I know it's gonna be harder on an Xbox, but versus a PC, just because the controls.
Holy shit!
No, I'm just saying.
No,
like,
bro, there's no way your mind just like switches like that so fast.
No,
though.
I'm just saying, like, wouldn't it be nice to maybe like have one totem of dying in our inventory? Just one, brother. One.
Oh, and then you're gonna die by a witch, and then you're gonna die by a witch, and after you're gonna be mad, and you're gonna cry, and you're gonna go to sleep, you're gonna be hella mad, like, hey, bro, I should have never did that. This is why we gotta be more patient. That's exactly gonna go through your head.
Why are you, bro?
We've done a lot. Listen to me. It's the balance of life. We got so much things successful. We don't, bro. It's a new day tomorrow, bro. It's a balance of life. The next balance is getting totems, and then it's the balance of life, bro. We cannot keep getting greedy. You're getting greedy now. It's 2 a.m. It's actually 1:15. It's the best time we can go to sleep right now. Facts or not, chat? Yeah, we're wise, bro. I'm chat. Yo, Speed wise, Speed. Patience is everything, bro. We're 104 hours in. Please don't do this. Please don't make it hard on us. We got the best armor in the game, bro. We got the best weapons in the game, bro. Please don't make this hard on us. Yo, do you want to build the activation shit or no?
You just gotta mine resources. That is like.
So kill the extra villager. For the final step, we need to build the activation platform. Starting from this slab, place one block and stand on top of it. Prepare exactly one stack plus.
Well, we have
17 blocks in your inventory, pillar up using all of them, then build a 3x3 slab platform and place water in one corner.
Sleep. Yo, my braids is so unorganized right now. Watch out. Alright.
Yo, give me the slab so I can build out the trap.
How much do you need?
Give me like 20 slabs.
20? I don't have 20. Oh, I do.
Well, while they're grinding, I'm gonna see if I can find some more about some of this other stuff. Oh yeah, the Mr. Beast mansion. Oh, this guy. Oh yeah, they're okay. This would be pretty cool to look at. I actually watched this one.
How much will you got?
So let's switch it up, because right now they're just grinding, man. I'm not gonna sit there and watch all of that.
Today I'm going to be answering the most asked questions from me being in Mr. Beast's Last to Leave mansion gets to keep it. Hi, my name is Asher Armstrong, and if you don't know who I am, I don't know how you're on this video right now, but I was recently one of the contestants in Mr. Beast's video Last to Leave mansion keeps it. I'm going to be answering questions that all of y'all have been asking all over my social profiles, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. Everywhere I've been seeing these questions. I'm trying to respond to everybody's comments as much as I can, but guys, I'm just a normal dude, okay? I'm not famous, I'm not special, nothing like that, so bear with me. But I figured I would make this video to give you guys kind of an inside look, a peek behind the curtains, answering every question you may have about Mr. Beast's Last to Leave mansion keeps it. So I'm gonna go through in order, starting from the beginning, where, you know, I don't want to reveal too much. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. But I don't want to reveal too much information as I go along, so I'm not going to tell you who won yet. But I'll go through and I'll answer some of the beginning questions, and then we'll move on.
Because I think I watched it, but I didn't know.
All right, so for the first question, you spent over 100 days posting why you would not make a great contestant videos. What finally convinced you to keep going with that series? That's a great question. So, as you guys might know, I posted for 150 days straight about why I would not make a great contestant in a Mr. Beast video. Well, obviously, Mr. Beast ended up reaching out, and I got into a Mr. Beast video. Honestly, the reason I started doing that was because I had actually done a previous series where I ended up meeting Eric.
Those challenges are easy. They're overplaying it. I know he said it, and they're all complaining. No, those challenges are easy. I'd knock it out.
My name is Armstrong, and this is a video idea 19 with Eric.
How's it going, guys?
And I asked myself, you know, I met Eric with 19 days of videos. I wonder how many days it'll take to meet Mr. Beast. And really, I said, what's the disadvantage? There's no downsides for me. So 150 days straight, I had to come up with a new idea. It's actually harder than you think. After like the first 20 videos, like I really had to come up with ideas. Like it wasn't easy. But 150 days straight, and I actually got into a Mr. Beast video.
So he was trying to get into a Mr. Beast video. He was actually like egging him on, right? By just constantly posting that they're easy and that it's BS and boom, boom, boom. So it's interesting. Some of those challenges, you know, I don't know if I want to be buried underground, but I think, you know, you get used to it.
Video. Looking back,
you do enough crazy things.
The moment you actually got the call that you were supposed to be in a Mr. Beast video. Honestly, it was wild. I just finished working out. I was headed home, and I get a phone call, and I pick it up, and she was like, "Hey, I'm from Mr. Beast. Are you available for an interview tomorrow?" And I was like, "Mr. Beast? Interview? Let me check my calendar." Yeah, I'm available. I can make that work. So the next day I had an interview, and I went through multiple different interviews, and yeah, eventually got into a Mr. Beast video. I was super excited. Obviously had to keep everything a secret, but it was really exciting, and I was like, wow, my 150 days of work paid off. When you first walked into the mansion, what was the biggest thing that surprised you about the setup or the other contestants? Well, honestly, you know, I didn't know how many guys there were going to be. I didn't know what the video was going to be happening. I didn't know if we were going to be in the mansions or the woods or what. And I didn't know any of the guys. Like when I went in there, like I didn't recognize any of them, like nothing like that. Some of the guys had like known each other, seen each other on social media, all that stuff. I had no relationships socially with any of them beforehand. And so I don't know. It was small. Day one, I think there wasn't anything like crazy. I noticed that people were pretty rambunctious and pretty, you know, wild, but there was nothing that stood out until day two. And then things started getting hectic. A lot of people notice your confidence right away. How intentional was that? And did you realize it might rub people the wrong way? So that's a great question, because that's definitely something that came across a lot in the video. I mean, I made 150 videos about why I would not be a great contestant. Like my confidence level through the roof. I was going to win, right? No matter what. Like that was my mindset. And so I didn't really consider how it would rub people, because for me it was like, well, I'm just going to win. Like that. Like why wouldn't I say I'm going to win when I'm the one who's going to win? And obviously, like looking back, I can see how terribly that would rub people. But at the beginning, like I mean, even from day one, like I said to the camera as soon as we got in there, this is a social game and I'm gonna win, which is really ironic. But I don't know. I didn't really like fully think through how my confidence could be taken as arrogance. And there's a fine line there between.
I think it's kind of fine for a competition, because these other guys were doing way crazier stuff. They were trashing the place, throwing food everywhere, and like they were doing some really bad stuff. So him just being confident, that's BS. For them to complain about that while they did all these other things is a load of crap.
Confidence and arrogance, and I considered it confidence the whole time, because I'm like, I'm confident in my abilities, I'm confident in everything that I can do, whatever. Everybody else took it as arrogance, and so that was definitely a major flaw, and it definitely rubbed people the wrong way.
Everybody else is a bunch of crybabies, so
like from day one. I mean, I remember one of the things I tend to do is I tend to like fill a leader role, and like we got into the mansion and I have no social credibility with any of these guys, whatever, and like we sit down around the table and I'm like,
Okay, wait. So what time we're going to sleep? What time are we waking up? Man, shut up!
And you know, it's like things like that. Like,
see what I mean?
I like structure, I like regimented things, I like sticking to a schedule.
They already had attitudes and they were already like loud and obnoxious anyway, so they're complaining about him. I wouldn't think
we're in
much.
A mansion, and these guys are treating this like it's a vacation, and I'm treating it like it's real life. Because I was fully prepared to last up to 4 years there, at least. Actually, minimum of 4 years. So that's like a difference. And looking back, I probably wouldn't have treated it that way. but I mean, I was just being me. Early on, some of the guys clearly didn't click with you. What was that dynamic like from my side? Well, honestly, like, I love people in general, and I'm not the most emotionally intelligent person, but I love people. And so I tend to be really social, ongoing, like I'll have relationships and conversations with people no matter what. And so for me, because I see things from a very logical perspective, like when I'm having conversations or relationships, like if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm going to win the mansion. And I say, I'm going to win the mansion. And they're like, no, I'm going to win. Like, that isn't dividing the relationship, in my opinion. Like for me, that's like, well, I'm glad you believe you're going to win. I'm going to believe that I'm going to win too. Other people don't take it that way, right? They think that it's me being arrogant if I say I'm going to win, right? So I think people didn't click with me early on, and I definitely was very robotic, very logical, very unemotional, and try to like structured and stuff. So I could understand why they didn't click with me and why they didn't like that. But that's, you know, that's who I was, and I've obviously grown since then. But that's like naturally, that's kind of like who I am. How much of the playing for yourself version of that you showed up on camera was accurate versus what was happening off camera? Honestly, this question is probably something that everybody wants to know, because it's like, how real was that Asher? And honestly, like, I think it wasn't as like vivid as it actually was. So there's clips, there's stuff, but like in the mansion itself, like it was bad. Like the way I acted, but I didn't, like, I was completely ignorant. That's the thing, is I was completely ignorant to it. I thought
he wasn't bad. He was competitive.
Confident. I thought I was just doing whatever it takes to win. I thought everybody should be seeing it as a competition. And obviously, like,
he was just loud about it.
Everybody should
he gave
see
it
as
away.
Competition because it is. But at the same time, you know, like,
it really wasn't that bad. It's just that he was outwardly confident. Like, so they started worrying about him because he was actually a risk, you know?
There can be friendships. One of the things that I said that didn't make it into the video, but I said to the guys, I would rather not trust anybody and fail on my own than trust somebody and have them backstab me. And so that was something, like, one of the other approaches I took is like, no matter what, I'd rather bet on myself than risk betting on somebody else and then them potentially eliminating me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's $1 million. Like, can you really trust anybody for $1 million that you literally met however many days ago? So that was my approach. Looking back at it, I was playing myself, but I think looking back, like, I could have done a lot better. Like, obviously I could have been a better person. I could have had more emotion, and I could have connected with the guys a lot sooner. But that was my true self, and that's how I was at the time.
Yeah.
So that was definitely very authentic. Was there a moment early on in the challenge when you realized that the social side was going to be harder than the physical or mental? This was something that I didn't think mattered. Even at the beginning, I said, this is a social challenge, and I'm going to win it. Funny, because that didn't happen at all. But I realized that the way the challenges Jimmy was giving us, it wasn't a social game. Like, sure, the backstabbing and things could happen, but all the challenges he were giving...
He just made it more of an emotional roller coaster. He was kind of a push and pull, right? Because a lot of these guys were just wild out crazy right out the gate, right? Just ruining the mansion. Just, it was nuts. And then there are other ones that are just kind of there, right? So, no, it's a challenge. You got to kind of get in their heads a little bit. I thought he was actually all right. It came off that way, but, like, it's not a normal situation. And, again, they did way worse. So I think he stepped it up after they started putting, like, mustard on their beds and everything like that, you know?
Giving us, we had to choose to get eliminated. And so for me, it was more of like, again, I would rather rely on myself. And so I would rather make the competition hard for my competitors and rely on myself than try to play the social game and then potentially lose or get backstabbed. So it definitely was, you know, I think I started to realize that the social aspect started to become a thing. That was like during the chains. Like, it started to solidify during the chains. Speaking of, I have some memorabilia here.
Probably going to cover it up.
Here's the keys, and here's some of the locks.
Change this over here.
But anyway, that was sort of when I started to realize that. And then after, like, midway through the chains is when those relationships, when it was the top 6, that's when those relationships really started to solidify with Ryan and Quali and Pierce, and then Kevin and Uthman. And I was kind of just like by myself almost all day reading outside. It didn't bother me. Like, I'm a very omniverted. I can be really social with people, or I can be really fine all by myself. And so for me, I didn't care. At the end of the day, it was a competition. And I only saw it as a competition. I only saw these guys as competitors, not as friends. And even then, like, they were competitors first, friends second, right? So that's the way I approached it the whole time. What did a normal day actually look like once all the novelty wore off? So the beginning, everything was crazy, right? Like day 1, it was chill. Day 2, house started getting destroyed. Day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, crazy stuff was happening. TV remotes thrown out, TV smashed.
Yeah.
All this stuff,
what I
right?
mean?
Day 10, we get the chains, okay? Obviously, the routine there, we had chains, so it was basically
Smashing
wake
TVs.
up with the person.
Trashing
chain
the
to you.
place.
Get up. You guys, take turns using the bathroom.
I would have made it
downstairs,
hard
cook
for them if
breakfast.
they were doing that.
Aaron and I watched all of Naruto while I was in the mansion because I never watched any anime before, and so I was like, I got plenty of time. And Mr. Beast had just dropped the Naruto Mr. Beast collab, and so I was like, I got plenty of time. Let's watch Naruto.
Cool.
And Aaron loves Naruto, so he was like, let's watch Naruto together. So that was something we kind of like bonded over. And so we would watch TV, then we would eat lunch, and we'd watch TV more. Later we'd work out, we'd watch TV, eat dinner, go to bed. So that was like a normal day when we were in the chains. And then once we got out of the chains, and once Uthman broke the TV on day 21, I got into better, when I was out of the chains and Aaron was gone, it was more just like I'd wake up, I'd cook myself breakfast, I would go and I would read. Like I would read outside and I would read like all day. I mean, I read probably 25 books while I was in the mansion. I'd read all day, eat lunch, read more.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get some caffeine. I'll be right back.
Things like we played
but I'm with
soccer,
y'all.
things like that every now and then. But even then, like while they were chained together, I didn't really do much with them. And yeah, so basically just reading, eating, and sleeping. That was about it. Isolation looked intense. What was going through your head during the long stretch of being alone? Yeah, so in isolation, it was Ryan and I trapped together. It was Kawali and Pierce, and then it was Kevin and Uthman. And they were arguing over who was going to be trapped with me. Honestly, I didn't care. Like, I understood. I was, not loved by everybody. And going into isolation, I didn't have deep relationships with anybody. I think Ryan was the person I had grown the closest to, but we didn't have, like, a deep relationship. And over that time in isolation, like, Ryan and I's relationship really solidified, and he was very... He understood me the most. His brother apparently is a lot like me, and so he's grown up with his brother, so he kind of knew how to talk to me and explain things to me and help me understand basically how much of a pain in the butt I was being. And so that was a good time, but honestly, like, and I know it's egotistical to say, none of the challenges really got to me. Like, I didn't miss my family while I was there. The time, like, the being in isolation, sometimes it was boring, yeah, but like we had brought some books in, we outsmarted Jimmy there. So we had done some stuff like that, but like at the end of the day, it wasn't crazy, honestly. And maybe obviously I'm sure that sounds arrogant, but like genuinely, it wasn't very difficult for me at all. How real was the mental toll the video showed, and did it change how I approached the rest of the competition? Honestly, there was a time, and I don't think it was really conveyed much in the video, but there was a time where it was Asher versus the house. And the story wasn't built up much, but basically everybody was trying to get me eliminated. Kawali had said previously in the video that if the only thing he did was get me eliminated, then he will be satisfied. Obviously, Ryan said he was going to try to get me eliminated so that Kawali could win.
They don't like confident people. That's what I'm saying. The confident guy is just competition.
Man, this guy got to go, right? And so
there
was a period of time, specifically around, I think it was around it was during the alarms, where it was like, that's actually the reason I threw out the food. Because for about 15, 20 days, it was just constant, like, we got to get Asher out. Asher, you don't know what we're planning. Asher, we're going to get you out soon. Jimmy better give us a way to get you out, like, whatever. And so I was like, I was laying down to go to bed, and I was about to go to sleep, and I thought to myself, I said, in 10 days, or like 7 days or whatever, when Jimmy gives us the next challenge, let's say they are able to eliminate me somehow, would I regret not taking action now to try to prevent myself from getting eliminated? And I was like, yeah, I would. Like, I have all the action and the information that I need to make a decision. I would regret that. And so I said, well, then do something about it. And that's what I did. I decided to throw out all the food in the house. And I threw out all the food in the house because I thought I could outfast everybody there. And then 2 days later, Jimmy shows up and he's like, well, starvation is not a strategy. And I was like, darn. So he's like, so we're putting you guys in your next challenge. And that's
starvation is not a strategy. That's pretty hilarious.
So that was definitely like, that's the reason. That's that whole like switch, I guess, of like, because I was trying to be the good guy. Like, I was trying to be the angel. I didn't break anything.
To be honest.
I wasn't destroying stuff. I wasn't being rude to people. Like, I wasn't intentionally rude. Like, some people were intentionally rude to each other. I was just trying to be a nice guy. But unfortunately, I didn't see how my confidence came across as arrogance. Which challenge surprised you the most while you were in it?
Often a mistake made, by the way.
Honestly, for me, the thing that was most upsetting was the last to take your hand off. Because I knew that, like, had Jimmy given us other challenges from
It's
other
actually
videos, rather than doing
confidence,
the
by
last
the way.
secret handoff, we would have stayed.
People misuse here. Okay, I'm gonna say this because this is like an actual thing. People misuse the word arrogance, right? Confident is I know my abilities, so I'm confident in my abilities. If you know what you're capable of and you're showing it, that's just confidence. That's not arrogance. Arrogance is acting like you're able to do something, but you're not. Like, oh, I can do heart surgery, but I've never done it in my life. That's arrogance. So if he's confident in his abilities and he has reasons to believe it, like he's done all kinds of things, he's got the right motivation, which he's proven that he's able to with all the like stuff he did. He did all the challenges. He didn't back down from anything. That's confidence. He's legitimately confident by the dictionary definition of confidence, right? And I'll actually pull them up. Whereas arrogance is if you're not capable. What people mistake the word arrogance for is ego. They didn't like his ego, right? So I'm going to just pull up like confidence. Because this is like a pet peeve of mine, right? People get this wrong all the time. And I'm going to go Merriam-Webster because you got to be careful with AI responses, right? Confidence, a feeling or consciousness of one's own power or of relying on one's own circumstances. Belief that one will act in a proper or effective way, right? The state of being in, right? For those, the definition for confidence, you're certain that, like, of your abilities, right? Whereas arrogance, and of course this can get biblical too, but it follows the same meaning, right? So I realize people don't actually understand words very well. Okay, let's. All right, so Merriam-Webster, arrogance. Defensive attitude of superiority, especially by excessively confident or rudely dismissive behavior. So I guess you kind of had that, right? But I'm going to get more into it because I read a lot more about this in psychology. So, however, confidence can quickly turn into arrogance. So remember to sounded. These are kind of like phrases. So the two are usually contrasted. Let me do a contrast between the two, and maybe I'll put it on screen. Confidence versus arrogance. So confidence is a quiet trust in your own skills, whereas arrogance is an inflated and fake sense of self-importance. So you don't actually have the skills, or you aren't actually that important, right? Arrogance is kind of like posturing, like you can do something, but you can't. Whereas confidence is a trust in your own skills, right? An over-exaggerated view of oneself is arrogance. And it's actually, this is a good point, it often hides deep in personal fear or doubt. So this is actually a thing in psychology, right? So you have your dictionary definition, and in like the science of psychology, they actually create a contrast between the two, you know? Let's see. I'll just look up, there it is, psychology. And I wish I saved that chart. There's a lot of charts that kind of give a better. It's basically arrogance is like you're overinflated, right? So it can be kind of a fine line. So it says straddling the fine line between arrogance and confidence, because it is a fine line. Because they can look pretty similar or almost even the same, really. What two things is maybe definitely your ability. Like if you're able to do something and you're confident about it, that's one thing. But if you're not able to and you're posturing like you're confident, that's arrogance. So like if I tell a heart surgeon who's done 100 heart surgeries, no, I can do it, and I didn't do anything, and he's like, no, shut up, I got it. You know, he sounds arrogant, but he's actually confident, right? That's why it can be a fine line. He's just shutting down the person who's not capable so that they don't like kill the person, right? So it can really come off like that. But a lot of times I find that other people don't like it because maybe they feel inferior, they feel insecure. But, you know, I think you can be rude. That's a different word. Or egotistical, right? You know, those would be more accurate in my opinion. Let's see. Confidence invites people in, arrogance pushes them away. This is more. There was a comparison chart because they're going deep into like the explanation. Let me see images. I know I've seen a lot of them. I know there's like a lot. Here we go. Found a few. It's kind of like hard to read. Okay, so confidence, open to being challenged. I don't know about that. You can be open to it, but if that means you're not confident. If you're questioning yourself, you lack confidence. So like some of these things, I don't know who put these up. A confident person who's like, I could be wrong. Yeah, that's not, doesn't sound like confidence to me. So in psychology, they're talking about like personality traits. Arrogance repels people away. Arrogance is not equal to security, has to prove worth, brags, belittles, deflates. But they're doing that from a place of insecurity because they're trying to prove their worth because they don't have that, maybe that skill set or that ability. And they're instead of just saying, oh, you know, it's fine. I don't know it. I can learn it later. Right. Which would be a confident stance, even though you don't have that skill. You're confident in your ability to maybe put the effort in. Right. Whereas confidence attracts. These are personality traits when you get into psychology. Aware of strengths and weaknesses, right? Determined to use strengths to the best of their ability. And then some of these are like very emotional. I feel like people have taken, you know, the base comparison and like made it like a, sometimes I wonder, these sciences, like these charts change over time. And I feel like not so secure people got their hands on these charts and started trying to redefine it because they're making confidence sound weary and feeble and not confident. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. So I usually fall back on dictionary definition. But yes, arrogance, typically they're boistering and trying to like prove themselves because they lack the confidence or the skill, right? And so they're trying to like posture and look like they have it. So it tends to be more loud, right? So anyway, there's a little pet peeve of mine. But I usually will just say egotistical, you know, because it's ego, right? It seems more like the, I could have probably left that on screen.
For months.
More like it fits.
None of us were going to leave. But at the end of the day, Jimmy had to end the video. I really appreciate the fact that Jimmy joined the challenge. Like, honestly, I didn't even care about the $100,000 that we could have won. I just loved being able to hang out with Jimmy, being able to pick his brain about YouTube, about life, about what he's built and how he's accomplished all that. Like, that was really awesome for me. And so I really appreciated having those conversations with him. It was crazy. Like, I did not expect Jimmy joining the challenge. That was really cool. But most of the other stuff, like all of those individual twists that he gave us, the phone, the alarms, the solitaire, like those were all like, we had watched the previous videos. We had known challenges that he'd given previous contestants. Those were all expected. A lot of people talked about family or financial pressures. How did those personal stakes affect the way you competed day to day? For me, honestly, like people were talking about doing this for their dad. People were talking about doing this, you know, to get their parents out of debt. Like there were so many different reasons. And for me, like there was a lot of reasons that I wanted to do it. But at the end of the day, like I wanted to set, and I want to set my future wife and kids up for success. So I don't know who my future wife and kids are yet, but I want to build something and leave a legacy, leave a generational impact. It's really not about me. It's about building something for my future wife and kids. And so that was my driving factor. And obviously my family now, I still want to be able to provide for them as well. And obviously I want, money's great because I also want to, you know, continue doing YouTube. So trust me, I'll get into this later, but the stuff I want to do on YouTube, it's not cheap, okay? As the numbers got smaller, how did the atmosphere in the house change? This is a great question because at the beginning, it's actually crazy looking back because at the beginning, the numbers, there's like 15, and then 20 days later, it's like 8. And then 10 more days, and it's like 6. And it's like, wait, 29 days, and then it was only 6? So we went from 15 to 6 in 29 days? Yeah. The dynamic from 15 to 8 was like at 8, we were chill. Like, we went from crazy house to, like, chill house. Then from 8 to 6, it was like we really started to, I say a family, it didn't start at day 20.
Yeah, they actually did get some bonding.
Top 6. But as we progressed, the 6 of us, we had a small enough number where we could really start to get to know each other. And we could start to create those bonds. And I think that's something that played a significant role, is it just became more like a family. And in isolation, that's that moment that I realized, like, not everything has to be a competition.
Yeah.
I can treat these people
that's definitely
as
more valuable
friends and not competitors and still be successful. And yes, it still is a competition, but I don't have to only see it that way. Because, realistically, if my neighbor wants to read a book and I say, no, you can't read a book that I have, I'm not going to give it to you, that's not going to help me win. Like, they're not going to choose to get eliminated because of that. But now they're just mad at me because I didn't do it. So, like, I can just be nice, and then they can not hate me, right? So that was a big shift that I, realized in isolation as well. There were moments where other contestants openly talked about not wanting to pair with you, as well as behind your back about wanting to get you eliminated. How did you process hearing those things in real time? Well, when they talked about not wanting to pair with me, honestly, like, I completely understood. I think I got to the point in the video where I knew how much, I wasn't the best person in the video. Like, I got to the point where I realized that people didn't love me. Like, I was not going to have those same deep relationships that everybody else had at that time. And so I understood their perspective. Like, I was not mad at them for that. Like, if I was in their shoes, I probably would have felt the same way about me. So for me, I was okay with that. And then obviously the things that they said, behind my back, I don't blame them. Like, when I watch the video, I see the things in the clips like, we got to get that guy eliminated. Like, I understand. Obviously, not only was I annoying, but I was the biggest competition. I mean, I had no job, no life, no kids, no relationship, nothing to go back to, right? So it makes sense. Did you ever feel like you had a clear strategy for how to last as long as possible, or were you Did you ever feel like you had a clear strategy for how to last as long as possible, or were you mostly reacting as things came at you? For me, I knew exactly what I wanted to do since the day I came in there, and that was win. So my strategy was to win. Like, that was my whole strategy.
Yeah, it's a competition.
And so for me, it was just to win. Like, everything I did was like, does this help me win? And if it does, I do it. And if it doesn't, I don't do it. So that was my strategy. Obviously, I had
you go in with one mindset and you leave with another, right?
I think it was around probably that
it's an experience.
75, 80 mark that it was like.
We thought of doing some kind of interesting.
Maybe not everything I do has to be about winning. Maybe I can
kind of
do
like
stuff that are
competitions or experience.
I
don't know.
To the final handful of
not really sure what that would look like
between you and the others who are still left. Again, like, the energy got significantly better after that day 80 mark when I actually started to realize that, like, we can be brothers and not competitors. And so from day 80 on, like, we didn't care what Jimmy threw at us. Like, none of us really wanted any of us to leave. We all wanted each of us to walk away with something. And that's the approach we took. So when Jimmy showed up and he's like, do you guys want another challenge? We were like, yeah, you don't got to give us one. Like, we're good. We'll stay here forever. Like, that's cool, Jimmy. So the relationship dynamic, especially after I came to my senses, was a lot better. And unfortunately, Jimmy threw a crazy challenge at us that caused us to get eliminated. How close did it feel like you were to getting to the end while you were still inside the mansion? Well,
caffeine.
I was literally this close. And if you haven't watched the video, that doesn't make sense. But if you have, you know exactly what I mean. Was there a specific moment late in the challenge where you felt extremely confident or like things were starting to slip? So it was really like, I thought the things were starting to slip when it was around that day 60 mark when they were all plotting to get me eliminated. I was like, crap, what do I do? They're trying to get me eliminated. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, maybe they're going to get me eliminated. I got to take matters into my own hands. That's why I felt like things were starting to slip, and that's why I threw all the food out. But then after that, like, I was pretty confident. When Jimmy gave us the isolation challenge, I was completely confident in that. The next thing was the phone, confident in that. And then after that, it was like, the hand, and I was really confident in the hand too, and clearly I was pretty right in my confidence, but not completely. Walk us through that final challenge and elimination moment, and what was it like from your perspective? Well, for the final challenge, Jimmy shows up and says, hey, if you let me join, I will compete for the mansion. But if you get eliminated before I do, you get 100K. Unanimously, we agree. Yeah, Jimmy, join. Obviously, if he wins, he gets to keep the mansion. Well, Ryan, Quali, and Pierce, they said, there's no way we're risking it. We don't know when Jimmy's going to take his hand off. We want that 100K. They took their hand off. Then it was just Kevin, Uthman, Jimmy, and myself. So Kevin fell asleep, and while he was asleep, his hand came off. Thankfully, his hand came off before Jimmy's hand came off. So Kevin got 100K. We love that for Kevin. And then there were 3, and Jimmy decided to take his hand off. So then it was just Uthman and myself. And yeah, after being awake for over 32 hours straight, Jimmy showed back up later that night because he had left, and I stayed awake for like another 12, and he showed up later that night, and he shows up, and he's like, all right, Asher, how you doing? And I'm like, well, I kind of don't remember what happened 10 minutes ago. And he's like, you need to sleep. And I was like, nah, I'll stay awake. And Jimmy's like, if you don't sleep now, we're going to make you go to sleep. That's not healthy. And I was like, all right, fine, let's go to bed. So we go into the bedroom. He helps me set up the bed, him and Nolan. Tucks me in, reads me a bedtime story. I jam my hand between the window seal. Window closes down on it. And I lay there, and I fall asleep. And a couple hours later, Jimmy shows up. Hey, Asher, you know what clip I'm about to show you?
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't. But when I woke up, it's like, I don't know if you ever had a dream where halfway through the day, you like remember parts of your dream. That's kind of like it was. Like when I woke up, I had this like vague mememory.
Agreed,
of
Mohammed.
what happened.
Definitely. Hopefully I can give that
prevalent.
to you guys.
And so he shows me the clip.
Hold on. I'm just replying to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Mohammed, feel free to hang out, and I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Sorry if I missed some of the chats here. It defaults top chatter, so I flipped it over. And I think we got our new top chatter. Nashra, I don't know if I'm saying that. Nashra Tiba, welcome back. Looks like you joined us on a few streams, so I hope we're doing a good job. Feel free to talk to us more. Ask whatever you want. We're just hanging out. We're getting a little bit in the rhythm of doing these streams, right? So let me go back a couple notches.
Dream. That's kind of like it was. Like when I woke up, I had this like vague memory of what had happened, but it wasn't like prevalent yet. And so he shows me the clip as I was sleeping, my hand in between the window seal.
He moved it out. Oh.
He shows me the clip. I'm like, yeah, I'm eliminated. Uthman wins. I give him a big hug. Congratulations. He did great. And yeah, I mean, that was the end. That's what it was like from my perspective. I couldn't really control it. I mean, I tried my best. I fought the hardest. I could have not gone to sleep, except Jimmy kind of forced me to. So other than that, I mean, the only thing I would have maybe done differently is tried to sleep with my hand like under my chest, like this, and laid on my hand. But even then, I might have moved my hand. I mean, Kevin tried to sleep like with his hand on the ground.
The windowsill was a bad idea because it was too uncomfortable.
Some people watching pointed out a specific moment near the end that argued that Uthman was eliminated. What's my take? Well, if you watch that clip, it's actually, it does look like he took his hand off. But when I watched it back slower, he took his hand from the stair to the railing. So the railing's here, the stairs are here, and he has his hand on it, and he just moved one finger, and then he moves the rest of his hand up. So it looks like he took his hand off the mansion. He didn't. I lost. He won. That's the reality.
Such a simple game, right?
After lasting as long as you did, what, if anything, did you leave with? Well, one part that I kind of glossed over was the phone. Well, when we got the phone, we had challenges and we had rewards. And during that time, Koali actually got a phone call that said, hey, give the phone to the person you trust the least. I didn't know what the phone call had said to him, but he hands me the phone. And I'm like, for me? Because I wasn't going to answer the phone. I was like, for me? So he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. And Jimmy's like, Asher, you have the option to go spend 24 hours in one of the rooms in solitary confinement, and Koali gets $10,000. Or you could pretend like this phone call never happened. I'm like, all right, thank you, hang up. Well, obviously I'm going to spend 24 hours in solitary confinement. Like, I may be confident in myself, but I'm not egotistical to the point where I'm like, that doesn't, that doesn't even make sense.
Use the words.
So I was like,
use the right words.
I get to spend 24 hours in isolation, and you win $10,000. And Koali's like, will you do this for me, Asher? And I'm like, of course I'll do this for you, Koali. So I go, I choose the master bedroom, I get all my stuff, and I go in there, and my 24-hour timer starts.
It's not bad.
Well,
24 hours.
23 hours later, a phone call happens again. Quality picks it up.
I do that at home all the time. You just sleep, man. It's a great way to catch up on sleep.
Jimmy says, Quali, you can switch with Asher in isolation, and you have to last for 24 hours, and he wins $10,000, or you just take your $10,000 and don't do anything. Well, Quali comes upstairs. He tells me, hey, Jimmy just called. Here's what he said. Time for us to switch. So Quali was going to do the same thing for me that I did for him. He switched. He spent 24 hours in isolation, and we both got $10,000. Unfortunately, since Jimmy left before my hand came off the mansion, I did not win the $100,000, so I walked away with that prize from the phone call. When Jimmy told you it was over, what was the first thing that went through your mind? It wasn't a surprise, because like when I woke up, I had that memory kind of shoot through my head of like me taking my hand off. And so I wasn't very surprised when he told me that I had lost. But at the same time, you know, I was obviously still hopeful that maybe Uthman had taken his hand off. Like I had no clue. I was glad and joyful for Uthman winning too. Obviously we had spent, you know, whatever, 118 days at this point together. And I was just glad that somebody won. And then, I mean, I didn't really want to leave the mansion. Like honestly, it had become my life in a way. Like I get to wake up, I get to watch TV whenever I want, I get to eat whatever food I want. My house is paid for by Mr. Beast, my food's paid for by Mr. Beast, my internet's paid for by Mr. Beast. Why would I want to leave? But the video had to end, and you know, I'm glad that it was one of us 6 who won, because we definitely created a brotherhood. Watching the finished video back, is there anything you wish had been shown more clearly about how the challenges really went for you? Honestly, the only thing that I kind of wish was more emphasized was the actual character arc of my story, because I felt it was a little lackluster. The truth was, I was genuinely trying to be a good guy. Like, I was not destroying stuff. I was doing all this, like all these
That's
things
what I noticed.
I thought would be me being a nice guy. And my arrogance was actually just my ignorant confidence. And then when it developed into me throwing all the food out, I did that because of how the other guys were ganging up against me, which obviously it's a challenge. I'm the biggest competitor. That makes sense. But at the same time, it's 5v1, so I got to take a stand for myself. And then obviously in isolation, that, you know, development of me realizing that not everything has to be a competition, you know, that was in the video. And then us becoming a brotherhood was, you know, really good.
Yeah, that's
After
a smart
everything,
move.
would you still say that
yeah,
Mr.
not
Beast
everything
videos are easy the way that you claimed
does
in
have to
your
be a
old
competition.
videos? 100%. Jimmy, your videos are still easy, bro. Every single challenge you put us through, other than the last to take your hand off, was easy, okay? I'm talking, the isolation was easy. The alarm, that was easy. The phones, that was easy. Chains, easy too, bro. Listen, if you want to give us a difficult challenge, okay, take the last 6 of us, all right, and put us on an abandoned island, okay? 100 days in the wilderness, no resources, have us fish, have us hunt, have us build our own shelter. That right there, that sounds like a difficult challenge to me. All your other videos, bro, they're easy. Do you want a shot at a redemption arc in another Mr. Beast challenge? Maybe I'll be in a future one. I don't know. I'm waiting for Jimmy to give me a call. But, you know, if he does,
Guys got
you
balls.
know I'll be in another video. If you guys like me enough, maybe if you guys tag Mr. Beast in the comments enough, if you guys think I deserve a second chance, I will definitely say yes to another video opportunity. What advice would you give someone who's grinding the same way I did, trying to get into a Mr. Beast video? I don't know, man. Like, I just posted my videos for 150 days straight. I was talking to Jimmy, and it was funny because he said to me, he was like, we never would have seen you unless we had made this video where we're trying to find people who say our videos are easy. And so, honestly, I don't know what to tell you, man. Apply.
Trial and error.
Mr. Beast Casting on Instagram. They have a link. You can apply to be in a video. That's probably your best shot. I don't know. I can't get you in a video. I'm not special like that. Now that the video is out and people have seen your full arc, what's next for you? Trust me, I have a lot of crazy things planned. And whatever's next is going to be peak. But it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be really fun. And trust me, if you like my personality, if you like and maybe doing then you're going to want to subscribe.
It's another reckless Ben right here.
Have a fantastic day.
That's what it
And I look
sounds
forward to
like.
seeing you in a future video.
It's going to be wild. All right, that was pretty cool, actually. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty impressed. But his content comes a lot from him being on Mr. Beast. So, like, he's going to need to do it yourself, you got to have a team. Like someone's got to plan these crazy videos, you know? You got to have people behind it. Let's see. I don't want to watch 52 minutes of a streamer stuck with Mr. Beast in a luxury car. I guess, how long? Yeah, not that long. It's not like you're stuck in it, really, because you got to go to the bathroom, right? Wow, look at that. Minecraft, breeding pigs until the server bans me. 12 million views. That's crazy. I don't think so. XQC's Mr. Beast is pretty. Oh, XQC's been doing it a while.
I got it. Do you have more than $100 million in your bank account?
No. So, see how we did much better there?
Yeah. So he's telling the truth?
Yeah.
Wait.
This is the moment Mr. Beast realized he wasn't the richest person in the room.
Oh, crypto account. Do you have more than $100 million in your crypto account?
Yes.
Whoa.
He's telling the truth?
Cash, huh?
Oh my God. Wow.
That's
Wait,
a
Chad,
lot.
what do you think of that?
I got it.
But it could have been because he had got into crypto earlier, actually. That'll do it. Because that's liquidity. If you got in it early, you're pretty good. A lot of Minecraft stuff. I guess because when I started looking at some of Minecraft. What do you put? You know, we have some pretty interesting ideas we might try with Minecraft, and it'd be fun. And some IRL videos, but those take a little. We're gonna get more of our team involved once we kind of build our process up enough. We're actually gonna start doing some interesting live streams that will be a little more interactive, less sitting in front of the computer, more actual like doing real things in the real world. I think it'll be a lot more fun. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's talking about the craziness. Does this guy, he's holding that. Let me just, he's going to make me click. See, 28K. So does he have another channel or something? I don't get it. I see a lot of those and it's annoying. All right. Let's see how they're doing. How these two guys are holding up. Oh, gotta mute. Well, while we're taking a little break here with the commercial, welcome to the stream for anyone who's new. I don't know if we have some regulars coming back, but we are trying to stream more regularly. We are at least pushing out a video or a VOD a day, like VODs from the streams. And I might talk about certain topics where I'll do a video for that day. So we're being pretty consistent. Our goal is to at least have one video a day, whether it's from like a somewhat edited video or a live, and live streams. Ideally about 3 times a week, I think is pretty comfortable. We might try to get it up to maybe 4 or 5 on a good week. I think it'll be more like that when we kind of get a rhythm down, right? So we're still figuring out how we want them to go, so they can be a lot more fun, more dynamic. So we're building up from some experience. We're getting kind of the itinerary down. So if you guys have any suggestions, we're all ears, especially because we're in the planning stage. So it's like your opportunity to give us some feedback, give some input, let us know what you're wanting to do. But right now we've been more on the videos side of things, right? That's our bread and butter right now. But we're going to do more lives and, you know, maybe a podcast too. I definitely want to do some special events. I think that'd be easier to do in the sense that we know what we're doing. It'd be a lot more fun. I'm going to see if we can freehand the camera and just kind of get out there, right? So our stream setup needs to be locked down in the office so that we can just kind of go out in the world. But yeah, the holidays have some ideas, so hopefully we can start to put those ideas into play. It'd be pretty exciting. This is a long pre-roll. It's like minutes. These pre-rolls are getting out of hand. Hopefully we don't have that. I don't know how ours looks. Honestly, we haven't tweaked our Twitch on that in a while. And also, if you are on our YouTube and you want to support us on our Twitch, give us a follow, a sub, whatever you want to do. We're about to hit, I think at the end of this month, we're actually going to cross 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but we're trying to get our Twitch up there. So we're trying to be ambitious. It's harder on Twitch, but it'd be pretty cool if we hit 1 million on both of them at the same time. That would be pretty neat. And we're going to try to live stream that. So it'll give us a reason to live stream it. That's for sure. Because that would be a really, really cool thing to see. Man, I'm about to switch to IShowSpeed. These guys has these crazy long ad rolls. Was it? Okay, 23 seconds. It's insane. And I know we got a lot of people on the other side of the planet that are joining us. So I know it's about time that a lot of you folks are waking up. So good morning. Hopefully we could be interesting on your morning drive or whatever it is that you're doing. So, they're calling it for tonight. I wonder if they died. Man, I missed it. That's the problem with the live streams. You can't rewind it. Got to clip it or check clips. Oh, their feed's dying. That is crazy, though. Look at that, 85,000 subs on Twitch. But he goes at it. I will say his streams are pretty entertaining.
W bought it in the chat. Bought it. Cenat back in here. Chat. Bought it. Cenat is back. Spam up W. Bought it. Cenat.
Come on, chat. Let's take this together real quick.
All right, picture.
Oh wait. Yeah, it's good, chat. Look, come on. Oh, I can't even see it. Hold up. I'm about to bring it out.
Yeah, you got to take an angled shot, man. It looks weird straight on. Kind of like how the camera looks weird right now, but I get it because that's the setup they got. When you do it with taking pictures, you do a corner shot. It's good perspective. It looks way better. Kind of like you look more 3D, right? Because face on, you look flat, you know? It's just weird.
My notifications on my screen is too big.
That's crazy. They're doing this for 10 days, man. That's crazy. I see why I think Cenat said streaming's not for everybody. Because, like, if you want to get big, you're doing stuff like this.
You need to take mine off.
So, that YouTube, I'm on Cenat's stream right now. It has a 96,836 on YouTube. I guess that's the membership thing because that's way more. He has way more actual subs, so it's got to be like the membership thing. And then 85,000 on Twitch.
Yo, this is the time when we got off last time. You heard? Yeah. Nigga.
Crazy stuff, man.
Jack, this is the exact time that we got off when we were last on Minecraft.
So what time is it for them? I don't even know where they're at. What time zone are they in? See if our video is coming up. Looks like it's posted. Yeah, it just went out. All right, that's pretty cool. Got another video posted. I said, we're trying to do dailies. We're doing them at different times. We're tweaking a little bit so we can figure out how you guys, like when you guys, I guess, like to see things, you know? Gotta go where the people are at. Whew, well, they're wrapping up, so let's see if we can change it. Okay, see, it bumped him up now. Okay, it's like a long, okay, 20 seconds. It's not bad.
Bro, we got beat.
You're trash. Y'all are trash. This is gonna be a wild one.
Undetected and undeterred. Marines are made for this.
Yeah.
So chat, that you have it. Today was a productive day. The boys finally learned how to enchant and how not. Feather falling, protection, all the stuff that they need to climb up to the top. Tomorrow,
it's funny.
My fault. Today, they're gonna get stuff done. God is good for getting us here. Now, I just want to say something real quick that ends it. Oh snap! Oh snap! Wait. Okay. Wait.
They look worn out in the background. Oh, he took that picture and that's actually pretty cool. They're gonna remember that, as pissed off as they are right now, because they don't look happy. But a picture like that lasts a little analog photo that you can hang on the wall. Those things last a lot longer than you might think. Man, I gotta join them a little sooner, but you know, we're doing stuff. It's all right though. I'm not staying in their streams all the way through, cause they're just grinding for like 8 hours a day on that. It's crazy, 8 or 10 hours.
All right, Chad, I'm about to go to sleep. I love y'all, bro. I love y'all so much. Chad, I love
But that is some serious commitment, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I'm genuinely impressed. It reminds me of back in the day when streamers used to like do 10, 12, 14-hour streams, and it was like the norm just to get, because it was new. It was so new that they were just doing that just to get found. That was pretty crazy. Those were good times too. There were a lot of fun watching those streams, and it was just great. So it's kind of a little reminiscent of those times, really. Like it's like 2017, 2018 when live streaming on Twitch became big, and then everything kind of followed, right?
All right, Chad, good night. I love y'all, bro. Hold on, wait, bro. My phone about to go dead. Chad, good night. I love y'all, bro.
We're going on 2 hours, guys, so we'll see how long we can go today. We're going to try to go a little longer because I feel like I need to, because I might be missing out with hanging out some of you guys that are just getting up. I know we have, just looking at our metrics and stuff, a lot of you guys kind of check us out at around 2, 3 in the morning, my time, right? So even though we're pushing videos out at that time, I'm trying to do it where we can actually like be around for lives for you guys, but it's a little tough, man. I'm not going to lie. We used to do it where we were up way late on our streams and we were doing our codathons. And it was a lot of fun, but man, we were doing those 12, 14-hour days. I think we saw some clips on our Twitch. The videos that we had for those streams that we saved, those like 12-hour videos, we cut those out. There's no way I'm watching back 12 hours of content of us just kind of hanging out. We weren't doing much. But the clips, though, those are still there, and that's pretty cool. This guy's talking about he's laid off. I'm going to cue that up from a software engineering job at Amazon. So I would check out Marquise, but Marquise Brown, but I don't. He'd probably not like me watching this stuff. I'm sure he'd get picky. Harry Potter 24/7 live stream on there's a Harry Potter channel. That's really cool. Like, how are they even doing that? You can do that? Is it legitimately them? Oh. Like, it's not gonna click. I always want to click the channel, but it always tries to throw you in, you know? Sometimes I just see, yeah, I guess so. 2.87 million subs, 2.9K videos, official Harry Potter YouTube channel. And it's got a bunch of like clips. Open at the, what's this? Close Harry Potter. I'm not gonna click any of these on stream because I already know they're gonna hit me with copyright. So I'm gonna deal with it. But it's pretty cool. They actually have like a channel going for it, and they even have.
I hope you find what you have lost.
You know, I'm big on CG animated films, so this actually looks pretty cool.
In theaters October 23rd.
They better not strike me for that. That's an ad.
Affect your brain,
I'm
making
gonna
it
mute these. There's some of these eye candy streams too. That's pretty cool. They would film it on 240 frames per second cameras, 8K or 16K, 240 frames, and they take it down to 8K. You know, and put it on YouTube. Those are really, really cool. Really beautiful. So our camera does 8K 60 HDR. It goes up to 12 bits HDR. I think native. I don't think it does beyond that. So 12-bit 8K 60, which is amazing, right? 12-bit 8K 60 FPS. So like doubling us from 8K to 16K and then quadrupling the frame rate. That's like a camera you would use if you're trying to take something and make it into slow motion, you know? Or like you're going to do a lot of editing or cropping. You're going to want to extend the resolution. But it's probably crazy good. I don't know what kind of storage you would have for something like that. All right. Let's check out this one about AI. It's going to be pretty good.
It's not the biggest layoff that the company has ever had, but the most shocking one that I've been a part of. I don't know what happened. I basically snapped. For those of you who are trying to break into the industry, some of you are gonna get laid off. Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what the severance package is like. Hopefully this will give you guys a good reference point for the future.
So this is Dan and June.
I just got laid off from Amazon.
Channel,
I've been at the company for over 6 years now. This was my first job out of college. And to be honest, I do have a lot of emotions going on right now. I thought as a proper Gen Z adult that the best way to go about processing everything is to record a video and publish it online for you all to see.
That's how you do it.
This video flops, I don't really have to worry about people having to watch me experience any real emotions.
Yeah, he's new to the YouTube game because he's worried about it flopping right out the gate. That's like a big no-no in the YouTube/streaming world. So, but yeah, he's straight out of college and had an AI software engineering job. So, I mean, that's pretty tough. It's a brand new kind of sector, right?
Now, this isn't my first layoff that I've experienced at Amazon. In fact, if you've heard anything about the company besides its rather notorious workplace culture, you'll know that layoffs are quite trendy.
Oh yeah, in the tech
And
sector, for
it's
sure.
not just Amazon. The entire industry has been taking hits.
Okay, they over hired during COVID because all the work went from in office to online. And like big tech leveraged that like crazy. So Microsoft, Amazon, and all the social media stuff like Facebook, everything, they all leveraged that. So inevitably it went, I mean, the stocks went like straight up, you know, and they peaked at like 4, 5, 6x, and they're already hundreds of billions of dollars. So they went to $1 trillion territory, you know? So inevitably those jobs are eventually going to come down when the market kind of rebalances. Right?
Plus, with the addition of AI usage these days, the layoffs have only accelerated.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was getting to a point where it felt like the layoffs were coming every few months. In fact, within the company, we would hear constant leaks and rumors flying, you know, all over the place. You'd hear about it in the hallways, you'd see posts about it on Reddit or on Xiaohongshu. I apologize for my pronunciation.
All over the internet.
My
Yeah.
Chinese viewers.
Just everywhere.
You would see news online detailing not just who was getting targeted, but also what exact date they were getting targeted. Basically, it felt like the layoffs were being run by Tom Holland. And every time that we heard the news that
funny.
our org was within scope for the next layoff, I mean, you could feel the tension in the entire building. You know, some people kind of just accept their fate, accepted the fact that it was beyond their control, and, you know, would just work business as usual, kind of basically not even acknowledge it. And then some people would be really anxious about it. And if they heard that, you know, the impact was happening at 3 a.m. the next day, they were staying up until 3 a.m. the next day to just refresh their phones and see if they were part of the
you can't do
impacted
that.
group.
Just gotta
I've been through
line up
enough
something new.
layoffs at Amazon where I've been both of those people, but this time there was no warning. I mean, no one had heard anything, there was no rumor, nothing. And it's not the biggest layoff that the company has ever had, but it was the most shocking one that I'd been a part of.
If you're looking for a job right now, you need to see this. It's called Perplex.
Excellent timing on that. This man, right in the vibe of it. He does good videos, honestly. He should probably just keep doing that.
Anyway, so if you've been following along with the channel, you'll know that I used to work in the Artificial General Intelligence org at Amazon. In that org, we were working on our own in-house model series called Nova. You know, think of Opus or GPT or any of those models. Amazon was building their own version. Now, there's a good chance you guys haven't heard of this model series. And it's not because it's a company secret. It's mostly because the market has largely been overshadowed by 3 of the main players, and Nova is... It's a developing product, that's what I'll say. Anyway, so when I was interviewing for the team, I was warned very early on that this was a dynamic space, that there was a lot of experimentation going on here. Now, this was a big departure from my previous experiences at Amazon, working in really stable industries like ads or retail, where the business had been essentially long established. The thing is, at AGI, no one really knew.
It went from a department that where it was established in like 1997 or something. Amazon's established in the 90s, I think. Pretty old when they started, right? All the way up till now. So that's stable. So going into AI, it's like maybe they offered good pay, but you have like an expiration date, right? So unless you're a lead developer, yeah, it's probably not going to end well.
Knew how to run the business. And that was not just true at Amazon. I mean, it's true across the entire industry. I mean, it's such a new industry that every company in the AI space is still trying to figure this out. And so essentially, there was a lot of fuck around and find out. I chose to join here because I thought it was interesting, it was exciting, and at the time, AI was already becoming a really trending topic, so I thought it was going to be a really good career move for me. And this place was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, we weren't tracking our infrastructure costs.
Not sure what happened there. But in all else fails, you just turn it off and on again, right? Let me make sure it's like getting power before I settle on that. Yeah, it's good.
We were just inventing entirely new roles that didn't exist anywhere else to solve very specific problems that no other industries had to deal with. Even the way we coded was different. Traditionally, a lot of were just writing code and just shipping it, no reviews, no nothing, giving it straight to the customer. And keep in mind,
because nowadays everyone's like, oh, AI can do it, and they're not checking anything. And AI is more like an assistant when it comes to programming or pretty much anything. If you're not reviewing it or checking it, it's going to be bad. Like it needs to be checked.
we were doing a lot of this before the AI usage became super common. And so, obviously the use of AI tools accelerated that, but we were doing that long before that happened. And so the mindset was completely different over here. And I'll make a whole other video to talk about that because a lot of this is really just tip of the iceberg stuff. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, I mean, this was proper Wild West development. The whole thing felt like just one big experiment.
Yep, which is common with AI.
If there's one thing I've learned about trying to solve very hard problems, it's that failure is a huge part of that process. And slowly, over time, those things began to manifest.
So AGI is your AI department.
That initial honeymoon phase where everything just felt like potential, that all started to go away. And suddenly the culture became hyper aggressive on creating big impact wins in unreasonably short amounts of time. Now, I have a slightly nuanced story for how this impacted me, which I'll get into in another video, but everyone in the entire org could feel it. Suddenly, the intensity dialed up, and working late nights and weekends just became the status quo. I mean, eventually things got so intense at AGI that, I mean, when I heard that the next round of layoffs was coming, brother, I was praying for it. We'd all heard the news that at 3 a.m. one night, the layoff emails would be triggered. And so that night, I stayed up till 3 a.m. And for a solid hour, I was just refreshing my inbox, trying to manifest that email. I mean, just so that I wouldn't have to continue my work the next day. Eventually, when it became clear that I was not part of the layoff group, I was kind of devastated. And then later that morning, I went to the office and...
You have to sit there and keep waiting for the layoffs. You don't know when it's coming and you're still doing the work. Like, that's a bad culture if that's what's happening, you know? That's rough, right? So you're always on edge.
I saw who got impacted, and I don't know what happened. I basically snapped. Really passionate people. I mean, seriously, like, if you work in the industry, you'll know that, you know, despite what you see on the surface, not a lot of people really care that much about their jobs. Work is just work, and that's totally great. I think it's a super healthy mindset. But the thing is some of the most impactful work that happens comes from the people who are genuinely invested in the org's goal, who make the work about their life. So when I came into the office later that morning and I saw who was impacted, I mean, it was some of the few people who truly made the org's mission their life and were really passionate about that work. That's the people that they let go. Here's the thing. As someone who has been an
And you know why they let those people go? Because the management that was doing it, like maybe HR or something like that, they were far removed from the actual workers. So like the legit committed or dedicated workers that were good, the ones that are actually doing the work are oftentimes not in the limelight. They're not around the HR people just chatting it up or just walking around chatting it up with people. So those people tend to get cut because they're hidden, because they're actually doing the work. And the ones that aren't good, that are like all about boasting and looking like they're doing work, they end up being around because they've been rubbing elbows with the right person. The reason that's bad for a company is your product goes to crap. You know, so that's pretty common, especially in large organizations. You'll see that. So I'm not surprised that that's what happened, to be honest. I've seen it a lot more times than I care to admit, just hearing it from friends and other people. Obviously, we don't operate that way. We're small. So we're very close-knit and connected with all of our team members, every one of them that we've worked with. So we know what everyone does. But in larger organizations like Amazon, yeah, super common, even like large to medium, I would say.
DE and APM. That's a little teaser for another video that I'll make. I know that you never truly understand what someone's going through unless you've been in their position, in their role. So it's easy for me to blame the upper leadership, and I don't know what difficult decisions they had to make with the information that was placed in front of them. But at least personally, it felt like such a betrayal. And it felt like the leaders were so disconnected from what was going on at the ground. So I decided to just take a leave and sort things out myself.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know, part 2. All you do
Go
is go to
away.
this website, and it lets
See
you
if I
find
get
out
the
exactly
button.
how much.
Skip.
Now, when I came back from the leave, the entire landscape had changed. I mean, AI usage was crazy. Suddenly, people weren't really writing code anymore. All these different teams who weren't even engineering teams were starting to build all these standalone apps, and they would write wiki pages about them.
Which is terrible. You have a bunch of just apps and websites that are just junk, and it creates a bunch of them. Like, because people can, like a layman's person can make something, they're going to make whatever that comes to mind. Like the thing about software design and development, you actually have to design the application or the website to make sense. You have to have knowledge in how it should navigate and the way it should work. And oftentimes people are just excited from the fact that, oh, look, I made an app. It's pretty. You know, it has a good photo, pretty photo on it. It's like, yeah, okay, now what? What is it going to do? How does it work? How does it function? They don't think about any of that. So you'll get a bunch of like just pop-up apps and pop-up junk that no one wants to use, and no one's going to install 30 different apps to do one thing, right? So that's where the design comes in. You actually design software and put it in one app, you know? So the whole vibe coding thing is just junk. And by the way, everything's going to be built on JavaScript. Just JavaScript, because it's accessible for AI. It's not writing C code or anything like that, C++ or Rust. It only benefits you if you integrate it with like Claude Code into your development environment and you're still building it. But the whole vibe coding where it does it beginning to end, it's just going to be JavaScript like junk apps all over the place.
I'm kind of marketing them or like selling them, saying like, you know, how they're native AI apps, which is kind of just a silly way to say that AI is a core part of the app's functionality. And on top of that, suddenly all these reorgs just started happening. I mean, 2 weeks after I started my leave, my team got disbanded and everyone got sent to different teams. And in the 2 months that I had come back to work, like there were 3 additional reorgs. So while this layoff came off as kind of a surprise.
So they don't know what they're doing.
I mean, it's probably more akin to buying a movie ticket for a horror movie.
Like you're on a team and then they take you and bump you to another one and take you and bump you. Like, what are you even working on at that point? That's
going
bad.
Into the theater and then experiencing a jump scare. Like, I kind of knew what I was getting into this whole time, but, you know, still surprised me when it happened. And funny enough, those 2 months where I returned to work, despite all of the madness, I was actually having kind of a good time. I felt empowered to set proper boundaries with work. I wasn't feeling stressed every time something would go wrong. All of my previous anxieties were gone. Weirdly enough, it made me perform better. Because I wasn't so anxious and taking every unexpected event as a personal guilt, I was actually able to, you know, take a step back, see the larger vision, and solve problems accordingly. Honestly, work was starting to become enjoyable. I genuinely thought, you know, maybe I could do this long term. Maybe I could do this forever. Maybe I could retire here. And that's when Amazon decided I was way too happy. Anyway, so at 3 a.m. I got a text message from Amazon to check my email before.
That 3 a.m. thing is crazy.
I also got a text message from my brother asking if I'd been laid off because apparently an article had already been published about the AGI layoffs. And honestly, I felt nothing. I mean, I think part of it is probably because, you know, I'd just woken up, But part of it was also just the fact that I think when it happened, I just kind of jumped
A blessing in
straight
disguise.
into action mode, and I was just focused on reading the text, switching to reading the email, and just absorbing the information, kind of, you know, pushing emotions aside, and probably a conditioned behavior from years of on-call at Amazon. And it was a little weird, because I think, you know, after 6 years, you know, basically the entirety of my adult life, this chapter was coming to a close. And I guess I thought I'd have more profound feelings about it, but I guess just because this year has been such a roller coaster ride, by the time it actually happened, it just felt fine. And I don't know, maybe this is just me suppressing my emotions when things get tough, because I don't know, I'm too afraid to face the fact that I don't have a job anymore, and I haven't interviewed since college. The market is crashing.
New opportunities.
Maybe I'll never be able to find a job again, and maybe I'll just be alone and broke. Anyways, whatever.
This video is doing pretty well.
So after I found out I got laid off, I immediately started texting my coworkers. Thankfully, I had their LinkedIn and Instagram because I lost access to all of the company's resources, including Slack. It turned out that they wiped most of our team. This was a really big slash to AGI. You know, we were just messaging each other for hours, just trying to see, you know, who was safe, who got impacted. And so funny enough, when I joined AGI, I got hired from one specific manager, but then he hired someone else to become my manager. So, you know, then I was under that person, and then eventually I transitioned to a third manager, and then I went on leave, and when I came back, because that team was disbanded, I got put under a fourth manager. Every single one of my managers at AGI was cut. So, and you know, I still really want a job, but to whoever my next manager is. Anyways, later that week, a lot of us ended up going out to dinner and just, you know, talking about it. So, you know, here's a little clip of us doing a spicy wings challenge for some reason.
Oh, that's cool. Wings are good. Oh, come on. I would have killed it.
Everything's done for you in Flux. This is a prototype. I forked the project and I just started changing things up. Flux.
Now, I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what the severance package is like, and I am going to share that with you, but I do want to preface this with, you know, every layoff is different, every company is different, you know, things change over time, but hopefully this will give you guys a good reference point for the future. So something like 8 hours after I got my initial text message that I'd been laid off, I got my official layoff documents, which had all the severance details. Basically, I got 3 months of continued employment. So I'm still technically employed at Amazon, but I am not expected to do any work for the next 3 months. And on top of that, I also get 1 week of severance pay for every 6 months I've been at the company. And so since I've been at the company for just over 6 years, that comes to about an additional 3 months. So overall, my total compensation time period is about 6 months of pay. For the first 3 months where I'm still employed, I technically do still have access to the internal transfer tools. So I can always interview for other teams at Amazon. And one of the advantages with that is basically just you don't have to go through the external loop. Or I guess it depends, but most teams don't make you go through the external loop if you do an internal transfer. And generally they do want to hire other Amazon employees versus external hires.
Yeah.
And there are other resources to try to coach people and help them through that process, whether they want to continue their career at Amazon, at another company, or if they have their own entrepreneurial, you know, passions, I guess. So I would say for a pretty notoriously frugal company, I mean, it's not bad. So now the only thing really left to do is to figure out what's next. A lot of my friends at Amazon have been laid off before. Some of them found jobs at other companies. Some of them ended up working at Amazon. Some of them, you know, shifted their careers entirely. But there is another option, which is kind of just to do nothing. I keep saying I'm not going to talk about this in every video, but I always find a way to bring this up. But, you know, I really like rock climbing. And during my leave,
he's a new YouTuber.
One of the things that I spent a lot of time, you know, reconnecting with that lifestyle. And honestly, if I was good enough to be a pro climber, that's what I'd be doing. But, you know, unfortunately, I'm not that good at it. But that's also up to the following sponsors, whether or not I can. But besides that, there was one other really important thing that I learned from my leave. that was that I do really genuinely enjoy software development. I mean, I was drawn towards
it is a ton of fun
in my time off. And I want to clarify that that's not
it
necessarily
really is
coding.
to build
I've never
things.
really been that into writing really clean, low-level design code. It can be fun, but my superpower has always been in my architecture designs, which is essentially just, you know, an exercise in critical thinking. So I don't really know what I'm going to do next, but I know it's going to be in tech. And I want to share that journey with you guys because surprisingly, a lot of people have come across this channel already. And for those of you who are trying to break into the industry, some of you are going to get laid off. And that's okay, that's a normal thing. So hopefully this can at least serve as some kind of reference for you.
But that's
so
okay, yeah.
You're at least mentally prepared when that time comes.
There's always another
if you made it
opportunity.
this far, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. And just as always, I will see you guys in the next one.
All right, that was a good video. I like that.
Imagine
See
being
what
able
else
to
he's
build an
got.
app with your name.
There we go with the junk apps. 20 videos, so he's, you know, this is probably his biggest one. He's got some good videos, actually. Like they're fun, I think because they're functional, you know? On call, an on-call software engineer. That can't be fun. So like something happens, you got to wake up and like think on how to fix software and then fix it and like push it or something. Like that sounds horrible, actually. Yeah, this guy's cool. All right, let's see what they're back at. Oh, okay, they're mixing it up. Dude, they're sleeping during this? What is going on? That's one way to keep the stream alive. Yeah, the viewership dropped way down once they stopped playing. Okay. So it's iShow. Let's see what he's doing, what Kai's doing. Is it the same thing? Oh, I'll let that ad run. Come back. Come back to it. Oh, hey, welcome to the chat, Ava. Yeah, you got school tomorrow? Is school started already? What grade or like high school, college? What are you going to school for? You are on the East Coast. Because it's, well, actually, no, you're probably Central. We're 141 right now, so we're in Texas. Let's see. $40 million penthouse tour. Did he really get a 40 million? Might check that out. I don't know. Just curious. Yeah, they're still doing it. They put the same feed on both of them. That's wild. I don't know if I want to watch that. Burnt Peanut. Let's see what Burnt Peanut's doing. He's actually really entertaining. And apparently he's not a VTuber. I read an article about it. He hates that people call him a VTuber because he actually created that peanut model. Apparently, he created that in like 3D software and like mapped it himself and everything. So it's technically not a VTuber like app, you know? It's his own thing.
We see the Gingy in her natural
This guy is amazingly funny.
coming, so she does the dance. The dance of 1,000 whispers to see if he will go away.
I never thought I would enjoy watching a peanut so much.
This guy, dude? What the hell? You talking shit on his own mom?
This craziness.
You see that? What the hell? Talking shit on his own mom. That's
All right, he's on a cut scene. Let's see what we got. That's clickbait, although it's interesting. I wonder what game he's looking at. Upscale videos. So, I don't know. We might, let's see. We got a little more time. We got some time. Let's see what we can find. Lwig is, now, ever since the Streamer University, he got a big boost because apparently he was doing a good job, actually. He was one of the teachers there. And he won the award as the best teacher. He was a real professional, got dressed up, gave a whole bunch of useful information. I don't know if that's kind of a stitch, if he was always already trying to help streamers out, like become better streamers. But after that, it blew up. He's definitely like the go-to guy for that. And a lot of, if you want to know how to be good on maybe YouTube or Twitch, definitely check out Lwig. The streamer who went from 165,000 to 50 viewers. Yeah, what was his name? He was huge. He was the first one to make the rapid builds fast. And then everyone started doing it like technique. And it was unique, but because streaming, everyone copied it, right?
In 2000.
And then, yeah, Myth. And then everyone just knew how to do it. Like it wasn't his secret anymore.
18 at just 19 years old,
19
Myth
years
would
old.
become the second most followed streamer on Twitch. In 10 months, he went from a small streamer averaging 50 viewers to becoming one of the biggest creators in the world, with a
He
new
was
average
really good
of
at building.
37,000 live viewers. Myth was an early adopter of Fortnite Battle Royale and had become regarded as the best player in the world alongside Ninja.
Do we have any Myth fans in the house?
And he fell
He
off.
rapidly gained millions of followers across his various
I think
social
he just
media
didn't wanna
platforms
keep
and was
doing it.
averaging over 1 million views per video on his YouTube channel. But 5 years later, in 2023, things have changed a lot. Myth has been consistently losing subscribers
Oh,
for
he still
2
streams.
years, rapidly losing followers on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, and can often be seen streaming to under 100 people, a number
That's
perhaps
crazy.
hard to fathom considering where he once was. So what happened? How did
Okay, my guess is if you take a break at all from streaming and you let enough time pass, could be, I'm not going to say a few months, but maybe a year or so, a couple years, what's going to happen is all the new generation that might still be joining Twitch and YouTube, like the young people that will follow like streaming Fortnite, they don't know you, right? And all the older crowd that might still maybe watch you, may tune in, but they're probably going to look at like the Burnt Peanut or something more interesting. So if you like go away and come back, no one knows you anymore. Like it's a new group of people, you know? So the only streamers that kind of survived that longevity kept streaming, but the old guard, so to say, like the Ninja, Myth, and all the other streamers like that were with Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, and a few others, dude with the glasses, all of them, they all fell out. Like they've got replaced because there's more exciting, more like, you know, Cenat's and you know, IShowSpeed's, but you know, things like that. That's gonna overtake the Burnt Peanut and Queso. They're fun to watch, right? And I think these guys built their kind of like identity around Fortnite, and it was hard to get away from it, to be honest. So let's see what he says, though.
How did Myth go from the second biggest streamer in the world to this?
Hey, welcome to the stream, MD as Rule. Appreciate you supporting us. Anyone in here, if you want, we'll appreciate you giving us some follows / subs if you want on Twitch. We're trying to build our Twitch up. We're kind of on our road to 1 million subs on YouTube by the end of this month, and we want our Twitch to at least kind of catch up. Our Twitch is barely over 100, so we're just now getting back into that. So we're dual streaming.
Well, let me explain by taking you back to the start, where it all began. Myth's online presence can be traced back to November 2013, when he
but
would
he
create
wasn't
his
that big.
current YouTube channel at the age of 14.
That's in the early
As with
days.
most gaming creators at the time, he would begin by posting low-quality Minecraft and Call
Yep.
of Duty videos. However, his content would see
Still a
huge
thing.
improvements over the next few years, and by 2016, Myth had began streaming on Twitch and uploading the highlights to his YouTube channel. Around this period, streaming was far less normalized and was a laughable
Yeah.
career option in the eyes of the mainstream. But despite this,
Minecraft and COD are still
becoming a successful streamer,
still big
and
for
was
streaming.
putting in a serious amount of time and effort at an incredible consistency, streaming
these
almost
12-hour
every
streams.
single day, often for over 5 hours straight,
Okay,
all
that's not
while
bad.
still attending high school and working at a coffee shop. But Myth's hard work would pay off quickly, and by November 2016, he was streaming to an average audience of 50 live viewers. During this period, Myth's
surprisingly
streams were
good on
focused
Twitch.
almost entirely around one game, Paragon. Despite there being a vast plethora of games with
If you have 56 viewers, you are in the like top 1% of Twitch, basically.
far higher viewership potential on YouTube and Twitch, Myth would continue to dedicate himself to Paragon, and for the next 10 months would essentially play nothing but this game on his streams. However, his
He found a
loyalty to
niche.
Paragon would prove to reap little rewards in terms of growth.
That's
as by
the thing with streaming, find your
mid-2017,
niche,
Myth
right?
was still averaging around the same viewers as the year before. Things were starting to look less optimistic for the young streamer. That was until September 2017, when Myth would make a decision that would change his life forever, when he would finally take a chance on a game other than Paragon and turned his attention to a new release slowly gaining traction in the gaming community.
Yeah.
Fortnite Battle Royale.
If you hate applying to
The
jobs,
accidental
this is
battle
going to
royale.
change
That,
your life. It's
the
called
main game was what they
Perplexity
built
Computer.
and
You
sold.
connect
The
your
battle
Gmail,
royale.
upload your res-
The battle royale was an accident.
Fortnite was somewhat similar to that of PUBG and H1Z1, two battle royale games that were extremely popular and topping the charts on Twitch at the time. However, Fortnite gave a fresh take on the genre, moving away from what could be considered a mature art style and gameplay to a more wholesome aesthetic with bright colors, high saturation,
Wholesome, but
cartoon-style
with
character
guns, right?
models, and dancing. Initially,
Yeah.
after Fortnite's release, many gamers
The dancing
and streamers were
and
quick to
skins.
write the game off, seeing it as a goofy PUBG knockoff made for kids. And with the game being free to play, it cast doubt on the quality of the product. After all, in 2017, it was extremely rare for a free game to have any long-term substance or success. But whilst the vast majority of streamers and players were sleeping on Fortnite, Myth was there on day one of release and streaming the game to his audience. And after his first Fortnite stream on 12th of September 2017, he would continue to play and stream Fortnite for many, many hours every single day. And let's just say being an early adopter and believer in the game would prove to be a stroke of genius.
Yep.
Myth was putting in far more hours than 99.9% of players, consistently streaming over 8 hours every day.
That's
and would
that's
quickly
where I
become
remember
one
seeing
of the
him.
highest skilled players on Fortnite. Whilst it would take most players weeks, if not months, to get just one single win on the game, after only 5 days of playing, Myth had won an absurd 22 games. A feat so impressive that even the official Fortnite Twitter page took notice and would shout out his Twitch stream. For context, getting
That's
a win
hard.
in Fortnite was no easy task, with 100 players competing in each game to become
You'd be
the
lucky
last man
to get 2 to
standing
3
in a world where
in a
one
day.
single shotgun bullet or sniper shot can defeat you. There was a lot of room for failure. A win on the game was in fact so special at the time that players would post pictures to their social media accounts, flexing the now iconic Victory Royale screen. Getting just one win was an achievement, but Myth was making it look like a walk in the park. And only one
Man,
day
at that
after his
time, it was
shout-out from
Fortnite was super.
Myth had increased his win count.
Wow, it's 30. At that time, Fortnite was super competitive. Like you would drop, and they didn't have ranked, so you would drop in, and it'd be like everyone was a pro player, right? And you just get obliterated, and it was just like it was rough. So people would start landing way off into the side, way off the map, and start getting weapons and stuff just to last long enough in a round because they knew they were going to get killed, but at least they were like hanging out, right, and doing their dances or whatever. Because you had pro players just dropping in with you.
By 8, reaching 30 victory royales. The same day, Myth would begin uploading highlights of his gameplay to YouTube, including a video of him dropping 20 kills in one single game. This level of skill
I've done
was
that.
incomprehensible.
I got close to 30
Most
in
players
one
would
round.
be lucky to get 1 kill. Meanwhile, Myth was taking out an entire fifth
He's gotta bait
of the
people
lobby
in.
himself. It was beginning to look like Myth could actually be the best Fortnite player in the world. However,
The easiest way is they had the hand cannon. It was like a 50 cal pistol, and the pistol you just scoped it in with the iron sights, and all you had to do was put the dot on the person. As long as you had it on them, because it was a 50 cal like hand cannon, it was it was OP'd, right? It would one-shot kill him like a sniper. So you walked around with that, and you were just taking people out in one shot. And it was way easier to aim with because you had iron sights. You didn't have to scope. You just put the dot on them on the screen. Super easy.
This time, Fortnite was still yet to gain
They
considerable
fixed that
traction
since.
and popularity, which was reflected in Myth's streaming stats, as despite his elite level of gameplay, his stream would see a fairly little amount of growth after his transition.
Not a lot of
away
people
from
knew that
Paragon,
too, so it
and
was
he was
great.
still averaging
I
around
was just
50 to 75
having fun with it.
concurrent viewers per stream. That was until November, when with a stroke of luck and random chance, Myth would end up in the same Fortnite game as one of the biggest streamers on Twitch.
Now you got to try to use a
Summit
proper like
1G.
sniper.
With no idea he was coming up against one of the biggest streamers in the world, who was streaming live to over 15,000 people, Myth would aggressively approach, outbuild, and outplay Summit. This was not normal, and people were taking notice. Soon after the game, Myth would upload a clip of him outplaying Summit to YouTube, and it would quickly become his most viewed video yet.
Dethrone
Viewers
someone?
were in
Yeah,
awe
that's
at
gonna-
Myth's ability,
you're gonna get
especially
some
that of his
followers
building
for that.
skill. And with him topping the leaderboards as the player with the most
Absolutely.
solo PC wins, Myth was certainly making a name for himself
The music is
amongst the
relaxing
small
on this.
Fortnite community. And following the video where he would destroy Summit, Myth would upload a series of building tutorials, which would perform far greater than the rest of his YouTube content. There was no doubt in the community that Myth was
he was
best builder
best
in
at the
game.
time.
And considering that Fortnite's
By a
unique
lot.
selling point was building, it was a huge title to hold.
He would
All of
actually,
this led
between
to a
two surfaces, would
considerable
ride the
rise in
corners and just
viewership
build, like,
on Myth's
da-da-da-da-da.
Twitch channel. And for
And
the
his
month
technique,
of November
I remember watching this.
2017, he would average
You'd actually build and then flip the
179
cursor just up a
concurrent
notch,
viewers
and then
per
just
stream,
build a whole
double that of the
structure
last month.
in under
The
like a
following
split
month of
second.
December
Not even a
was when
second.
Fortnite really started to pick up pace.
Just kind
in
of
terms
wiggled the
popularity.
mouse around and
and thanks to
built
Myth's
it. It was
prolonged
crazy.
commitment to the game, his stream would begin to blow up. December
You
1st,
couldn't do that on the console. You
142
needed a
live
mouse for
average
that.
viewers. December 2nd, 332 viewers. Myth had doubled his average viewers in just one day, but things would get even better when once again, Myth would find himself in a Fortnite lobby with Summit. And when the two players would eventually encounter one another, they would have a 1v1 battle that would go down in Fortnite history. Summit would notice a base at the top of a hill. Little did he know Myth was the one waiting inside. Summit then decides to aggressively build upwards towards the base, ready to engage.
No cover,
But instead of Myth sitting idly like the majority of players would, he starts building at incredible speed.
Which like 8-year-olds do now on Fortnite, which is crazy.
He keeps building higher.
Like you'll literally see
Stop building so high!
little kids doing this, and it's like, man, I can't keep up. It is insane.
Is this guy a... What? What's happening? What just happened?
Yeah, he did the quick edit, shoot, edit to take a wall out like he's doing. Dude.
He built the... He kept building up and building up and building up, and I couldn't catch him. 1,400...
Ridge is back with our 6th annual sweepstakes. With prizes so epic, we needed a spokesperson to match.
These are pretty
That's
nice.
pretty cool.
You can win a Lamborghini, souped up trucks, or
Yeah, those were fun to
$100,000
watch when, especially when they were new. Like it was exciting.
How did that man shotgun me?
That was a reckoning
like that?
for
Did
him.
you see that?
Good fight, Summit. I like that.
I've never seen that strategy used.
It's a reckoning, sir.
I've never seen that strategy.
You've been dethroned.
You can tell he's a good player. I've never seen that strategy used where when someone's trying to get into your base, you just keep building up, keep building up, keep building up. That was impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
For the second time, Myth had completely outplayed one of the biggest streamers in the world. This kind of building gameplay was not normal, and of all the thousands of viewers in Summit's stream who witnessed the fight, the same question was likely going through their minds. Who
At one point,
is this
okay,
Myth
it's-
guy, and how is
Yeah,
he so good
TSM.
at the game?
Are they even
And
still
it was
around?
no coincidence that soon after this moment, Myth's stream would begin to grow even faster. December 16th, 570
I never did
viewers.
Fortnite on PC.
December 24th,
I really- I'm gonna try it,
1,000
man.
viewers.
I've always just
December
played on
26th,
console.
2,000 viewers. December 28th,
There's those 12-hour streams.
3,000 live average viewers. Myth had multiplied his viewers over 20x in the space of 1 month.
2017,
And whilst many
12-hour
streamers would
streams
slow
were
down their
extremely
streaming
normal.
over the holidays, he was grinding an average of 10 hours every day. And it was working. As Myth's Twitch was skyrocketing to huge heights, more fuel would be added to the fire. When a random viewer would post a clip from Myth's stream, that would take the internet by storm. The video was titled, "Insane Build Fight, I'm the Myth," and would quickly go viral, gaining over 1 million views. In the clip, Myth could be seen in an intense build battle against another player, a fight that he would
All right, guys,
win.
it's getting
Whilst
about
in
that time.
hindsight, This gameplay may look
So I'll
underwhelming
stop
to
it for
average
now.
Fortnite
It's
player.
10 minutes in. It's a 50-minute video. So it's from Directed by Fainted. This actually got 6.8 million views. Came out 2 years ago. But you guys can watch this guy's channel if you want to check it out. Looks like he's covers a lot of Fortnite stuff. So it's pretty cool. He's new, but he's grown quick. Got 6 videos. So he's putting a lot of work into his videos, to be honest. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and call it. We went for about a good 2.5 hours. And, you know, normally I would go longer. Usually we do, like, on our coding streams, we'll do 6, 8, 10 hours or so. But I'm doing a little bit more overnight so I can be live for you guys on the other side of the planet here. So at least you guys get to see us live. We'll try to see on our timing. Maybe we'll do a little bit later or maybe really, really early on the next couple streams. We're figuring out our timing. But at least you guys got to join us. I appreciate y'all joining along. I hope it was a fun stream. We kind of talked about a lot of things, really. But yeah, just catch up with us on the next one. We'll keep streaming. Give us a follow, subscribe, the works. Support us. We're building our Twitch and our YouTube. And we're about to hit 1 million subs on our YouTube by the end of the month. And our Twitch, we're wanting to kind of catch up too. So we appreciate the support. If you follow us on Twitch also. See you guys on the next one.